Time field as the Saugerties Stallions welcome the Utica Blue Sox on July 4th. Welcome to the Arch Top Fiber pregame show. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi. Nick, before we get into anything baseball, your favorite July 4th food has to be?
Cheeseburger. Add a little bacon as well.
Not a hot dog?
Nope, cheeseburger.
Not sure if I agree with you on that one. Something we can agree on is the Stallions starting to gain some momentum last time out versus the Glens Falls Dragons.
Came into that game losers of 4 of their last 5. This is meeting number 7 between these two teams. The last time the Stallions took on the Dragons, they dropped 5-4 at Cantine on a go-ahead 2-run homer, but it's going to be Fitzsimmons in the bottom of the second, giving the Stallions a 2-0 lead. He gets a fastball and does not miss it. Dylan Fitzsimmons, a 2 RBI double. Stallions are the first team to take the lead through 2-0 Saugerties. Now, fast forward later on into this game. The top of the third inning, the 3-hole hitter is Aiden Gallagher, and he drives in 2 more runs. 2-2 between the Dragons and the Stallions through the first 2.5 innings of play. Fast forward now to the 6th. Robert Mello makes it a tie game at 4. George Baker hit a sac fly to give the Stallions a lead, but Mello ties it right back at 4 through 6 innings of play. And the big swing of the night goes to Anthony Frobos, making his PGCBL debut as a Stallion. He goes yodel over the center field fence for a solo shot, adds an insurance run there. 6-4 Saugerties, but the Dragons add a little bit of insurance themselves. A sac fly in the top of the 8th inning makes it a 6-5 game after the Frobos homer, but the Stallions are still winning going into the bottom of the 8th inning, and Anthony Lino makes this game out of reach with a 2 RBI single. Second different hit in this one that scored at least 2 runs for the Stallions offense. Fitzsimmons had the other. Saugerties leading 9-5, 1 out away, and Weaver comes in and does the job. A fly out to the second baseman, Levinson, to go along with 2 strikeouts, and the Stallions now win their second of the last 3 games.
I think the most impressive thing about that win, Nick, is they didn't have their top 5 hitters in the lineup for that game. Reese Maroney, Justin Ford, Travis Hoppen-Siefken, Cameron Carroll, all these names that we've been used to seeing didn't play, but they still got the job done.
This was the first time in the season, the last game, where Comiskey hit leadoff. That's the first time where somebody not named Reese Maroney, Cam Carroll, or Luis Rodriguez hit in that leadoff spot.
And the Stallions have had so many extra base hits over the last few games. It was really cool to see a guy like Frobos get a home run in his first game as a Stallion.
Yeah, that was one of 3 for Saugerties. Dylan Passo had a double in the first, Fitzsimmons a 2 RBI double in the second, and Frobos had the swing of the night, a solo shot to center.
Saugerties up to second in the PGCBL in extra base hits, and they're going to look to keep that going here tonight on July 4th. If you look at the past history, on July 4th for the Stallions, they're here at home nearly every single year, and over the last 4, 2-2. If history is to repeat itself, they're set up for a loss here tonight.
And history might repeat itself since the Stallions dropped to the Utica Blue Sox 5-4 earlier in this year, but the Stallions looking to rewrite history here tonight.
July 4th, always one of the biggest crowds here at Cantine Field. Post-game fireworks, everybody coming out to the ballpark. Nick and I were in the parade early on today, and one of our reporters, Henry Hipschman, went into town to go see the vibe on July 4th.
We're downtown in the village of Saugerties where the spirits are high for the annual 4th of July celebration. Behind me, all around me really, is people lining the streets in anticipation of the annual Saugerties 4th of July parade. It's an incredible experience, an incredible atmosphere. The weather turned out to be just perfect today, cool 80s, and we have people dressed head to toe in their red, white, and blue gear. And right now we're waiting for the parade to come through, for the fire trucks, for the police officers, and of course the Saugerties baseball team. It's an exciting one out here. Everyone is ready for what should be an amazing day here in Saugerties, New York.
Henry, thanks so much. And Nick, I think the thing that I'm most impressed about was the fact that when we got off the float, this parade still went on for another hour.
I've never seen a 4th of July parade just like this one here in the village of Saugerties. It was a pretty cool event. All told, 250 people participated in the parade between walking, dancing, playing music, playing instruments. So it was just all around a cool experience.
Your first time in the parade. I was here last year, a little bit of a Saugerties July 4th veteran at this point, but a team that's trying to reign on Saugerties parade, the Utica Blue Sox. We'll dive more into them on the other side of this break here on the Arch Top Fiber pregame show. Welcome back to the Arch Top 5 pregame show. Dan Chalm with you alongside Nick Zuppi. Time to jump into the Utica Blue Sox. Nick, this is a team that's 2-7 on the road this season, but 3-1-1 in their last 5.
It's a team getting hot, plus 12 run differential over those last 5 games, like you said. Split a doubleheader against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, but more importantly, Dan, took game 1 between these two teams a couple weeks ago.
And you mentioned that game. It was a 5-4 loss for the Stallions up there in Utica, and ironically enough, the last 3 games between these two teams up there in Utica have had 5-4 score lines, and the problem for the Stallions in that one was the fact they simply didn't hit the ball.
They had their season low in hits with 3, leaving 11 runners on base. That's not a recipe for success.
They also had errors in that game as well, and that's been a problem we'll talk about plenty. Stallions have 16 over their last 5. Had a crucial one in that game, a pitcher error, which allowed the go-ahead run to score at the time. And Nick, when you look into this Blue Sox team, they've only come here twice over the last 4 years. The last one being a 2-0 win against the Stallions in late July. Given how things stand, this is really a definition game for the Stallions.
100%. I agree wholeheartedly because the Stallions pitching staff as a whole has not been great over the past week. Their team ERA has gone up over a whole run over their last 6 games, and this is a Blue Sox offense that ranks in the bottom half of the PGCBL in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging, so this is a perfect get-right game for the Stallions pitching staff.
And that brings me right to my keys of the game. My first key to the game has to be smash the baseball. The Stallions have had 8 or more runs in their last 3 games and have won 2 of those. And if you look at the previous matchups against the Blue Sox, they have a run differential of -2. This is a team that's really struggled to plate runs against Utica. They got shut out here at home last season. The only time that happened all of last year outside of playing the Amsterdam Mohawks. So for me, this is a squad that has to score runs, plate them early, and they'll have their top hitters back in the lineup. So there's no excuse why they can't put up another 8 or more here tonight. Nick, what do you got?
Dan, you focused on the offense. I'm going to take a look at the defense, and it's as simple as this. You have to clean it up defensively. 19 errors over their last 6 games, resulting in only 2 wins during that time frame. The Stallions made a season-high 5 against the Amsterdam Mohawks, and they made 4 the last time they played a Utica offense that is in the bottom half in the PGCBL in every offensive statistic. So if the defense can help out the pitching staff, get them maybe extra outs with a diving play here or there, the Stallions will look to hold on at Cantine and come away with a win on 4th of July. Now, let's take a look at around the PGCBL.
Nick, this is a big night here for the Stallions. They can gain a half game on the Mohawks, an inch closer to taking back second place from the Boonville Lumberjacks.
And this is a team who is in desperate need of a win. They have won 2 of their last 3, but taking a step further, lost 4 of their last 6. So a win today would gain a half a game, but it would also get the Stallions back on track for later matchups against the Mohawks.
And this Utica team is a little bit hot, like we mentioned, 3-1-1 in their last 5, but a loss in their last game and a big loss. They had a 4-run lead against the Amsterdam Mohawks in the bottom of the 9th and blew it.
Brandon McCrane delivered. Bases loaded, 2 outs, a triple that cleared the bases and gave the Mohawks the win. They just can't lose up at Shuttleworth Park.
And down at the bottom, the Oneon Outlaws on an 8-game losing streak. The only reason I bring them up is the Stallions travel there tomorrow night to face the Outlaws.
And they're taking on the Diamond Dogs tonight, who are tied for 3rd with the Stallions. So it looks like the Diamond Dogs have a very favorable matchup. So a win today is very needed for the Stallions.
Well, we've had enough here on the Arch Top 5 pregame show. It's time for July 4th baseball right after this break. Stay with us.
Can we go on the field for the
It doesn't get much better than this. We've got July 4th baseball here in Saugerties. Dan Child with you alongside Nick Zupi. Nick, the Stallions coming off a win against the Glens Falls Dragons had the day off yesterday and looking to continue things here against the Blue Sox tonight.
And a team coming into this one that's won only 2 out of their last 6 games, but then 2 out of their last 3 games are wins. So this is the Stallions team really needs to catch fire here going into the latter half of the season.
They're certainly hoping so. This is Stallions squad that was shut out by the Utica Blue Sox in the only matchup last season between the two sides, and we'll look to change that here tonight. The starting pitcher for the Stallions, a little bit of a local guy from Poughkeepsie, New York, is Andrew Speranza.
He's making his 5th appearance out of the mound for the Stallions. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings, given up 10 hits, 5 earned runs, good for a 3.86 ERA. Dan, one of the better starters for the Stallions this season has been Speranza.
He certainly has been. The other real strong arm for the Stallions has been Keller Osmond. Let's take a look now at Saugerties' defense here tonight on July 4th. And Cameron Carroll behind the dish, Kaminsky at third, then left to right across the diamond. Maroney Z Paso. Kaminsky, the only same one in the lineup from last game in the infield. Stallions changed things up a lot last game with Forrest Fitzsimmons and Hobbit Seekin in the outfield. And leading on tonight for the Blue Sox is Jagger Naylor, the second baseman, ready for some July 4th action. Early on here at Cantine Field, usually a 7:05 start tonight, 50 minutes earlier as we've got some post-game fireworks on deck. But baseball in front of us first. Speranza toes the slap. He comes set at the belt. And we've got baseball here from Cantine Field. First pitch is grounded over to Kaminsky on the third base side. He throws across the diamond. 1 pitch, 1 out here on July 4th.
Speranza letting his defense work early. The Stallions' defense has been very ineffective over this past 6-game stretch. 19 errors, so to start things on a good note on the first pitch is definitely a good sign going into this game.
Vincent Cowdrey will be next year for the Blue Sox, a team coming into this game that's 3-1-1 over their last 5, but just has 2 wins on the road in 9 games. Cowdrey fouls off the first pitch he sees for strike 1.
And this is a team that hits way better at home than they do on the road as well. 245 batting average in their 11 home games and only 230 in their 9 road games.
0-1. Smack to the right side. For strike 2. Speranza with a chance for his first K of the ball game. Cowdrey so far this season, a .275 hitter through 11 games started for the Blue Sox. Naylor grounded out to third. For the first out of this inning, the 0-2 offering is way upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Last time Speranza pitched, he was spectacular. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, and no runs to go with 2 strikeouts and the 5-4 loss to Glens Falls about a week ago.
1-2, back to the screen. We'll do it again. And Nick, this is a Stallions team that's still looking to find their groove once again. They've lost 4 out of 6, but if you really zoom in on that, have won 2 out of 3, so things are starting to seem like they're looking a little bit up.
And it's been the offense that has catapulted them to those victories. 14 runs, 8 runs, and 9 runs over their last 3 on offense.
Speranza gets strike 3, and there's 2 quick outs here in the top of the first. Just blew the fastball right by him at the top of the zone, and with 2 down here at the top of the first, Xavier Smith, the third baseman, comes to the plate. Smith, the best hitter by average on this Blue Sox team, .292 in his first 16 games, and Utica as a whole does not have a hitter above 300 so far this season. First pitch is straight down the middle for strike 1.
And the Stallions have 5 hitters hitting above 300. Seekin, Maroney, Ford, Rodriguez, and Carroll.
Stallions searching for back-to-back wins here on July 4th at home. As Speranza gets ahead 0-2, they knocked off the Dragons 9-2 last year, but are 2-2 over the last 4 years. Speranza looking for a 1-2-3 first and back-to-back strikeouts. He shakes off the first sign of the season. Now gets what he likes. 2 down here in the top of the first. And the first pitch to Ulysses is lined down over into left field. Over at third is Smith, and he's going to get way told. Ford Fields throws to the cutoff man. Maroney fires a dart in, and it's not in time. Carroll dropped it at the plate. Moving over to third is Ulysses, and it's an RBI triple here in the first, and it's 1-0 Blue Sox.
Third triple of the season for Ulysses, and RBI number 9 here in the first inning with 2 outs on that swing.
Esperanza really started his outing strong and got his first 2 hitters out and then allowed the 0-2 2-out single to Xavier Smith. He comes around to score, and it's 1-0. Still more trouble to deal with here against Matt Colella, the shortstop. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1.
And this is a guy who knocked in 2 runs in the last meeting between these two teams. Went 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs.
1-0. Misses, and it bounces off the backstop. Carroll fields it, there will be no throw. Esperanza didn't get there in time. The Blue Sox take advantage of the wild pitch, and in a blink of an eye, it's 2-0. And Esperanza didn't even land that one close to the plate. Actually went behind the batter Colella to make this a 2-0 game. And what seemed to be a clean first inning at an 0-2 count against the third batter he faced is now turned into a 2-run first for the Blue Sox. 2-0 into left field. That ball is down. That's 3 consecutive 2-out hits for Utica here at the top of the first.
And 2-out runs hurt the Stallions 2 nights ago against the Glens Falls Dragons. Aiden Aller had a 2 RBI single that tied things early on in the game with 2 outs.
If you turn back the clock to the last time Utica came here to Cantine Field, they jumped ahead 1-0 in the first, with played a run in the 6th, and that would be all the scoring. A 2-0 shutout win, and they're already up 2-0 here at Cantine on July 4th. Connor Jones, the center fielder, in the box with a runner at first and 2 down. A 1. Straight down the middle, and now Esperanza has a chance to get out of this inning, just giving up 2 runs and stranding Colella over at first. Had an 0-2 count to Xavier Smith with 2 out in the inning before Utica plated 2. The southpaw deals. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Jeff Ramsdale rings him up to end the top of the first. Utica plates 2. Stallions coming to bat here on July 4th. Back here at Cantine Field, Dan Challen with you alongside Nick Zuppi. Getting ready for the bottom of the first. The Stallions with some work to do, trailing 2-0. Here's the lineup that they're rolling out on Independence Day. Reese Maroney will start things off in the leadoff spot, he was not in the lineup against Glens Falls. Casey Comiskey was at the top of the order. Then it's Cameron Carroll, Jamie Z, Justin Ford, Dylan Passo. First time we've seen Travis Hobbins-Siefkin down there at 6 so far this season. George Baker doing the DHing tonight. Casey Comiskey moves back to 8, and happy birthday to him. Dylan Fitzsimmons, the center fielder, and Logan Sanchez, the extra hitter. This is a Stallions squad that's battled back from adversity a lot this season, and they have an early deficit to overcome here at Canton.
Despite the early deficit here today, 2 days ago against Glens Falls, they did not trail at any point in that game, came away with the 5-4 victory. But Dan, this is an offense as a whole that's been absolutely on fire. 31 runs over their last 3 games, 46 over their last 6. Good for a team that's averaging around 7.5 runs per game.
And the arm that the Stallions will be going against tonight is Luke Baker, a 6.39 ERA for him so far this season, and that through 3 games started.
12 2/3 innings out on the mound for Baker. Gave up 11 walks and 10 strikeouts. So this is a power pitcher for Utica that loses command of the zone, but when he does have it, he commands it well and gets swing and miss.
Reese Maroney will start things for the Stallions. Finally did not play against Glens Falls, had played in every game since he got to the Stallions before that point, that being 10 in total, and he's reached base in all of those games. So trying to start hot and spark some momentum here for the Stallions in the bottom of the first. Baker misses upstairs for ball 1, and Nick, over these last few games, the Stallions' offense hasn't been a problem. 8 or more runs over the last 3, but it's been the pitching that's really put the offense out of some of these ball games.
Coming into this last 6-game stretch, the Stallions were first in team ERA at just above 4. Now they're 8th at just above 5. So like you said, it's been the pitching that has really hurt this Stallions team of late.
1-1. Maroney lays off the off-speed, but it's a called strike by home plate umpire Jeff Ramsdale. And the Stallions as well, 9 or more hits in each of their last 3, have been great at the dish, struggling on the mound and in the field. The 1-2. Misses at the top of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the leadoff man, Reese Maroney. That game against Glens Falls, Stallions didn't get scoring till the 2nd. And in that game, had back-to-back innings where they scored 2 runs, that being in the 2nd and the 3rd. And then they really had to wait again till the 7th and 8th, where they put 4 runs up between those 2 innings to win it 9-5. The payoff. Misses outside. Maroney works the leadoff walk. And the Stallions bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the first. Cameron Carroll.
Last time that Maroney played was in the 11-8 loss up at Shuttleworth Park against the Amsterdam Mohawks, and he started that game the same way he did here tonight with a walk. But up at Shuttleworth Park, he was caught stealing for the first time this season. Hopefully that trend does not repeat itself.
Just the guy the Stallions want at the plate. Cameron Carroll, the best hitter by average so far this season for the Ponies among qualified batters through 11 games, 385. And on the first pitch, Maroney goes to second. He's in there safely. Ball bounces into the outfield, but he will stick there. So it's a stolen base for Reese Maroney, and Saugerties has a runner in scoring position.
7th steal for Maroney on the season. And that is the 88th for the Stallions as a whole, who are first in stolen bases in the PGCBL.
Amsterdam behind them at 67. That being in second place shows how big of a gap it is between 1 and 2. Stolen bags-wise. Carroll takes at the top of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Utica won the last matchup between these two sides, 5-4 up there at Donovan Stadium, newly turfed Donovan Stadium, that is. The 1-1 is fouled off to the left side, and the last 3 games up there in Utica have all been 5-4 score lines, with the Stallions only winning the first. Utica has won back-to-back at home. And it speaks volumes to their record this season, 7-3-1 up there at Donovan Stadium, and a mere 2 for 7 on the road. 1 ball, 2 strikes with Maroney at second. Nobody out in the bottom of the first. Ball misses in the dirt. 2-2. All of Utica's runs in the first coming with 2 outs on the board. 3 consecutive 2-out base knocks has them up 2-0. Stallions looking to respond here on what is the biggest night of the year in Saugerties. The 2-2 pitch popped up into shallow left field. Colella running in for it. It'll end up being Ulysses who makes the play, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the first. Carroll just getting that one off the end of the bat. A guy with plenty of pop so far this season that could tie the game in one swing. Jamie Z steps to the dish.
He leads the PGCBL in homers with 5 through his first 14 games as a Stallion, but he also has 4 doubles as well. 1 extra base hit away from being number 10 this season.
Stallions would certainly love for Z to knock a ball into the gap in this situation. And on the first pitch he sees, somewhat checks his swing, flies a ball into center. Jones there for the play. And in back-to-back pitches now, there's 2 outs on the board. Didn't seem like Z fully got through that swing.
Yeah, it was like a three-quarter swing from Z, which it did catch the barrel. As impressive as that swing was, it made it all the way to the outfield on what was a check swing.
Justin Ford at the plate now, the Stallions' cleanup man today. Takes outside for ball 1. Ford has been as consistent as possible for these Stallions. We're in game number 24. He's played 19. A .378 batting average. There was a reason why he was a PGCBL first-team selection last year and is already creating the resume to be on that squad once again here in 2025. 2-0 count to the Seton Hall product.
Ford, he's top 10 in doubles, top 10 in RBIs, top 10 in batting average, top 10 in on-base percentage. You can't ask for much more out of Justin Ford if you're head coach Colin Martin.
He's been doing everything correctly for a second straight summer. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Whacked into center field. That ball is down. Maroney is waved around third. Here's the throw home. It's not in time. Ford going to second on the plate. He's there. Justin Ford cuts the lead to 1. A big RBI double, and it's 2-1 Blue Sox.
24.
We head to the second. Blue Sox leading by 1. Top of the second here at Cantine Field on July 4th. Dan Schaum with you alongside Nick Zuppi in the Pack-Up broadcast booth. Big Stallions getting one back there in the bottom of the first, but they would really love for Andrew Speranza to put up a 0 in that top of the first. All the runs scored for Utica came with 2 outs.
He was 1 strike away, actually, from getting out of the first inning with a 0. Xavier Smith was down 0-2 in the count before he lined a single back up the middle. And Speranza has been a guy who's been able to give the Stallions length. Every appearance this season has gone at least 2 innings, and they got great length from their starter last night, Keller Osmond.
Keller Osmond, you bring him up, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, just 1 earned run with 4 strikeouts. Outside of Ryan Franklin before that last start against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, Osmond has been the most consistent pitcher on this team, starter-wise. First batter that Speranza is going to face here in the top of the second is Sean Sosa, the first baseman. Loops one foul for strike 1. Sosa, a .263 hitter, 17 games played, starting all those for the Blue Sox so far this season. Lefty on lefty matchup here to start things in the top of the second, the 0-1. Chopped foul on the left side once again, and something Speranza has done a really nice job in so far in this game is getting himself into 0-2 counts.
And the big thing there is he's throwing strikes. 3 of the first 7 Blue Sox guys he's faced have swung at the first pitch. Ryan Ulisi lined it for a single, and Souza the latest example of fouling it off.
0-2 offering is skied to the backstop for ball 1. And it's not like Speranza blew up in that first inning. He just let up a bloop single, which then turned into an RBI triple down the left field line that was just hit to an unfortunate part of the ballpark. And then a wild pitch. Doesn't get the call there from Jeff Ramsdale. And the count's 2-2. Speranza set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Rocked into left field. Ford moving back on it. He makes the play. 1 down here in the top of the second.
And that's the first real loud contact for Utica here tonight, despite them scoring 2 runs in the first inning. Souza put a good swing on it, but Ford was right there to make the play.
Duncan Cullinan will be next. Designated hitter tonight for the Blue Sox. Takes upstairs for ball 1. Back-to-back innings for Speranza where he's retired the leadoff batter. Looking to build on that. Here in a 1-0 count. Finds the zone for strike 1. This being a real test game for both the Blue Sox and the Stallions, currently sitting at 4th and 5th, respectively, in the PGCBL East. Stallions 4.5 back, Utica 6.5. Speranza a strike away from his 3rd K of the day.
And both of these teams dropped a game to the Amsterdam Mohawks, who, Dan, are getting hot. Now 18-6-1, a team that's won 4-0-1 in their last 5.
1-2. This is in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Speranza doing the same thing that he did to Sosa to start this inning. Got ahead 0-2, and now the count goes back to 2 balls and 2 strikes. No call at the bottom of the zone, and the count goes full. Speranza just missed his spot. First full count of the day for Speranza. The payoff. Cullinan just stays alive, and we'll do it again at 3-2.
And Speranza loves the strikeouts. 16, now 18, through his first 13 innings as a Stallion, averaging more than 1 per inning.
And the Stallions as a team, the K per 9, sitting at just above 8. Speranza issues his first walk of the day. And the Blue Sox have a runner on with 1 down here in the top of the second. Parker Barraza, the catcher at the plate. Swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it back for strike one for Cullinan. That was his 11th walk of the season, which now leads the Blue Sox, something that they haven't been very good at so far this season. Just 100 in total through their first 20 games.
Sitting in 14th in the PGCBL of 15.
Cullinan goes to second. Here's the throw down from Carroll. Not in time. First stolen bag of the day for the Blue Sox puts a runner in scoring position in the top of the second.
Second for Cullinan here in the PGCBL, and this is a team that doesn't really steal many bases coming into this one. Only 43 out of 50 tries puts him at 13th in the PGCBL.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. With the runner at second in the top of the second. Esperanza just misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Stallions pitchers having to deal with traffic early on in this game, something that they've become very accustomed to over these last few games. 5 or more runs given up in each of the last 3 for the staff. Esperanza gets a swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the Stallions have actually won 2 of those games in large part due to their offense hitting above 315 during that time.
Excuse me, scoreboard operator error. The count here in the ballpark. The scoreboard said 2-1 as that pitch was thrown. It was actually 2-2, so that is a strikeout. 3rd of the day for Esperanza, and now there's 2 down for Waldy Rodriguez. In there for strike 1. Blue Sox left a runner on in the top of the first, at risk of doing so for a second consecutive inning here in the top half of the second. 0-1. Chop to the right side, foul, and a 5th 0-2 count already in this game for Andrew Esperanza.
He's been ahead of 9 of the 10 hitters he's faced here today against the Blue Sox. Working ahead, commanding the strike zone despite giving up 2 runs in the first.
3 strikeouts already. Searching for number 4 here in an 0-2 count with 2 down. Esperanza deals. Strike 3, got him looking. Back-to-back Ks to end off things here in the top of the second for Andrew Esperanza. Still a 2-1 score here from Cantine Field. Back here in the bottom half of the second from Cantine Field, Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zupi, and a special guest joins us here in the booth, former Stallions player and Delaware grad Andrew Amato. Andrew, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, Dan. Pleasure to be back here on the Saugerties, and what a beautiful evening we have on the 4th of July, man. It's nowhere else to be.
It's great to be back here with you. You obviously played with this team the last couple of seasons.
For sure.
What's it like being back? I know you adore this place at this point.
I do. Obviously my first year had a tremendous amount of success, and last year had to come back for some rehab purposes. But it's been a second home for me, man. And I think that's what this community embodies the most, is that it's home, and the host families, everybody, support staff with this team really embodies that. It really makes it a second home for young players coming up here for the summer.
Travis Hobbins-Siefken leading things off here in the bottom of the second. And Andy, you played with Travis a couple of seasons ago.
I did.
What would you say is something, as he shoots one over to the left side for out number one, right into the glove of Smith, but still something that our viewers don't know about Travis Hobbins-Siefken at this point into the season?
I mean, the main thing is, how much of a workhorse he is. You look at him 2 years ago, where he was at in his career and development-wise, the physicality part of it was lacking. And, he had the tools to be as great as he did, and obviously had a tremendous season this past year. In my opinion, got snubbed of All-American status, put together a fantastic year for him. And, he kind of took apart, what he needed to do to really become a fantastic baseball player. And I think, everybody watching him this summer is starting to see that on full display.
A power lefty just like yourself at the plate, George Baker now for the Stallions with one down in the bottom of the second. And Baker, one of the new guys on this team, recently joined. Did you talk to him at all?
I had the pleasure of, working out with him yesterday in the facility, and, he's a coach's dream, man. He is everything you want in a baseball player, from, his work ethic, his mindset, how he goes about his business. He truly is just trying to be the best player he can be on and off the field, and the best person in his community. And I had the pleasure of meeting him yesterday for a short stint of about an hour and a half, and we got some great work in. And he's going to be a future professional baseball player. He has everything it takes to do so. And he's very humble, very modest. As I said before, a coach's dream, man.
That left-handed batter's box almost better than anybody here at Cantine Field. Here's the 2-2. Misses on the outside. Just what's it like stepping into that box, especially here on Cantine Field on a night like July 4th?
I mean, it's everything you dream about as a kid. The opportunity to play in front of a bunch of great fans and a bunch of people who are really passionate about this organization. It's, like I said, man, it's every kid's dream. I had the opportunity to do it, fortunately, for 2 summers, and it was anything I could ever ask for. It's, it was a blessing, and I was really fortunate, to be a part of, this organization and have as much success as I did on the field.
League MVP back in 2023, matched, what was it, 16 home runs, 15, 16?
13 regular season, 14 with the playoffs. It was, it was a great summer.
And that playoff one, you got started with a bang up there in Amsterdam.
That's right. It was
payoff over to second base. Naylor fields cleanly, throws to first in time. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the second. And Andy, for those who don't know, what are you up to now? What are your next steps? What's on the horizon here for you?
Yeah, unfortunately, these past 2 years, I've, ridiculed some injuries, dealing with this, the year before this season. Unfortunately, had some shin and hamstring problems, and that was a big part of, the reason I came back here to rehab that in the month of July and get myself back on track for the spring. And unfortunately, early March this year, I unfortunately partially tore my UCL, and then eventually, didn't know it at the time. Come April, we fully blew the elbow out, and we couldn't get the year back. So we had to power through it. We had to find a way to stay on the field as we did, the previous season. Credit to the support staff and the sports medicine and training staff at Delaware. They did everything in their power to set me up to stay on the field and be healthy, and most importantly, not make anything worse. So yeah, unfortunately, have to take a little bit time away from the game in that regard. But hoping to rehab, come back stronger. Dive into professional baseball next year. And then, ultimately, make a run to live out every kid's dream, and that's play, the game at the highest level possible. If there's any time in my life to do it, it's now. You only have one shot to play this game, And I think that's what a lot of people often overlook in life, focusing, on jobs or future opportunities. But, the 1% on the field right now is so fortunate just to have this opportunity, and being able to leverage that and keep myself on the field as long as humanly possible is any kid's dream.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to the third baseman, Casey Comiskey. Happy birthday to Casey as well. Pops one up over into Stallions go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the second. Andy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
See you around. Always a pleasure when you're back here at Cantine Field.
Absolutely, man. Let's go Ponies.
Always. Stallions trailing by 1 as we go to the third. Third inning here at Cantine Field on July 4th. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi. Always a pleasure having former Stallions stop by here in the booth, especially one of the best Saugerties Stallions in recent memory, that being Andrew Amato. Just to recap that bottom of the second, Saugerties going down 1-2-3, and now they're looking for another 0 from Andrew Speranza.
It was really cool to hear some of what Andrew shared. He talked about how he had to deal with injuries, partially torn UCL, but obviously just playing in front of Saugerties here at Cantine on 4th of July, where the village of Saugerties goes all out. They do the big parade and the whole thing, so it was really cool to hear from Andrew and the stories that he just told.
He is a Saugerties guy. More than anybody, this place like a second home for him. Spent 2 summers here while completing things at Delaware. Top of the order here for the Blue Sox to start things in the top of the third. Jagger Naylor at the dish. Takes ball 1. Naylor put the first pitch of this game into play, grounded out to Casey Comiskey at third base. And then the Blue Sox would evidently put up 2 runs in the top of the first, despite the leadoff out by Naylor. 2 balls and no strikes.
It started with a Xavier Smith single on an 0-2 count. Speranza was 1 pitch away from getting out of things and putting up a 0, but gave up the single, and then 2 more consecutive hits resulted in 2 runs for Utica.
The 2-0. This is down low, and for the first time today, Andrew Speranza's in a 3-0 count.
He started ahead in the count on 9 of the first 10 hitters he faced. So to this point, he's been doing a great job of commanding the strike zone. Only 1 walk against 4 strikeouts.
And 5 0-2 counts. That's a 4-pitch walk right there to the Utica leadoff man, and they've got a runner on with nobody out here in the top of the third. Second walk issued by Speranza today. No arm getting going in that Stallions bullpen. We've seen them kind of switch up the strategy from the coaching side of things over these last couple of games. Keller Osmond and Virgil Heath going over 4 innings in the last 2 games. But before that, the Stallions had a stretch where both pitchers didn't go past the 2nd inning. Bunt laid down by Cowdery. That's going to run just foul. The right fielder nearly had it on that third base line. Struck out in his first at-bat. And it seems like here today they're going to let Speranza ride a little bit.
The hometown kid getting to pitch on 4th of July here in Saugerties. I don't hate the move at all. Just let him go. He's consistently throwing strikes. It's not like he's giving up free runners. If he gets hit, he gets hit.
Has just given up 3 hits so far in his outing, and those all coming in the first where Utica plated all of their runs. This is a Blue Sox team that has not won on the road since June 16th, and that being against the last place Oneonta Outlaws. Looking to flip the script here on July 4th. A nice sliding play by Fitzsimmons. And there's one down here in the top of the third.
Got a little bit of a late break on it out in center, but makes up for it with a nice sliding play for the first out here in the third.
Xavier Smith, the third baseman, steps in. He's the one that started the rally for the Blue Sox in the first inning. With 2 down, had an 0-2 count on his hands, blooped a single into center field, and then the Blue Sox would string together back-to-back hits to go up 2-0. Think of a check over on Naylor. Stallions would respond with a run of their own off a Justin Ford RBI double in the bottom half of the first, but no scoring in the second frame. Speranza comes set. Here's the pitch. A mile-high pop on the infield. Passo under it. He's going to make the play, and Naylor didn't realize that there was 1 down in the inning. He goes all the way to third on a base-running blunder. Stallions take advantage. It's a double play to end things here in the top of the third. Stallions leading, or behind, 2-1.
Everyone, you all did a great job. Give them all a hand, please.
Bottom of the third here at Cantine Field. Stallions trailing the Blue Sox 2-1. Saugerties taking full advantage of a base running mistake by Jagger Naylor in the top of the third. And Fitzsimmons cracks the ball over to second to start things here in the bottom of the third. That's gloved by Naylor. Back-to-back innings now where the Stallions' leadoff man has lined out on the infield on the first pitch they see.
Travis Hobbins-Siefken led things off in the bottom of the second. First pitch he saw, like you said, a line out to the third baseman Smith.
Lolo at the plate now for the Stallions, the 10-hole hitter tonight. He's the extra hitter. 3 straight games now where the Stallions have batted 10 with the increased roster size, trying to get some more guys some reps. He fouls the first pitch he sees back to the screen, and Logan Sanchez has been a consistent hitter for this team. Definition of a contact guy, and has come up in a few spots for this team when they really needed it.
He has 13 RBIs in 13 games played, averaging a run knocked in per game played for Sanchez. So like you said, doing a nice job of driving in runs.
0-1. Slap to the shortstop, Colella. Throws to first. Back-to-back innings now where the Stallions' first two batters have been retired, and that's 5 straight retired from the second to the third for Luke Baker.
Baker has done a nice job of settled down after the first inning where he allowed an RBI single to Justin Ford. Since then, retired 7 straight Stallions, but now the top of the order is rolling around for a guy who reached base his last time, Reese Maroney.
Reese Maroney is the only run in this game for Saugerties. Walked in the first, stole second, and then was brought home on Justin Ford's RBI double. Takes a first pitch strike at the bottom of the zone. Fireworks coming up after this one here at Cantine Field, so the ballpark starting to fill up. One of 2 firework nights this season, the second being on the 13th of July. A nice play by Colella. He spins, throws to first in time. Back-to-back balls to the shortstop, back-to-back outs for the Blue Sox here in the bottom of the third. They still lead it 2-1 as we go to the fourth.
Welcome back to Cantine. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. Top of the 4th inning. 8 straight Stallions have been retired by their starting pitcher, Luke Baker, for the Utica Blue Sox. But Dan, Speranza has done a nice job of settling down himself. He allowed 2 runs back in the first on 3 hits, but the last 2 innings, no hits allowed.
No hits allowed, and most importantly, in that 3rd inning, he got bailed out by that double play. So had a 1-2-3, and the Stallions are looking for a clean 4th here. It's interesting. It's kind of ironic. The script has been flipped here again on July 4th. The pitching has done a nice job putting up zeros, but the offense not with much through the first 3, just 1 run.
Back-to-back games where the Stallions' starting pitcher has given a solid effort. Keller Osmond last night went 5 innings, gave up 1 earned, 2 total runs to go with 4 strikeouts. Speranza through the first 3 here today, 2 earned, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The southpaw, who just completed his sophomore year at Marist, will be starting with Ryan Ulysses, who hits 4th in the Utica lineup. First pitch from Speranza misses upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Ulysses has had the big swing for Utica here today, an RBI triple that scored Xavier Smith back in the 1st inning. The 1-0, swing and a miss. 4 strike 1 on Ulysses.
And Nick, that's why I'm really not worried about Andrew Speranza out there on the bump. All of those hits in the first came with 2 outs on the board. It's not like it was all straight off the rip. Speranza's done a really nice job in this game limiting damage.
Fires in another strike right there on the swing and a miss. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Speranza has been doing a nice job of working ahead in counts so far. He's been in 5 different no ball and 2 strike counts. He's gotten ahead of 11 of the first 13 hitters he's faced as well. The 1-2 from Speranza. Line drive just foul down the left field line, so we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, top of the 4th inning. Andrew Speranza still out there for the Stallions.
And I think they're going to just keep him going. There's no arm out there in the bullpen for the Stallions, and no reason. He's given up 3 hits, and the 2 runs all coming in the first.
The kick and the pitch. Chopped over to third. Comiskey comes in on it. Fields fires across the diamond in time for out number 1 here in the 4th.
Nice job there by Comiskey. First ball put in play in this game was hit to him. Gets tested again here on the first batter in the top of the 4th and has been perfect tonight.
Casey Comiskey has been a guy for this Stallions defense that can play a little bit of everywhere. He's played third the past 2 games. He's played short, second, first, and he's also been the DH this summer in 2025. This one is flied out to center field. Coming on is Fitzsimmons now in a sprint. He will dive and not make the play. Reaching safely at first is Matt Coelho, the shortstop. He swings at the first pitch he sees and picks up a single.
Back-to-back singles for Coelho so far in this game. That ball was similar to Vincent Cowdrey's fly out into center field. Fitzsimmons was just a step behind right there.
On this July 4th, Friday, July 4th, America's birthday, 249th birthday for the United States. Sun is shining, so Fitzsimmons having to work with that here at Cantine. Speranza misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes to the number 6 hitter in the Utica lineup, Connor Jones. Jones is the center fielder today, who ended the first inning on a strikeout looking with a runner over at first base.
Well, that's the thing, too. Speranza has 4 strikeouts in this game. He's not only been getting outs on the ground, he's been fanning a lot of guys as well.
And this is a guy who coming into this start had 16 strikeouts over just under 12 innings pitched, averaging more than 1 strikeout per inning this summer in 2025. Foul ball from Jones, now 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Top of the 4th inning. Stallions trailing 2-1. Utica started things in the first by scoring 2. Ryan Ulysses had the big swing, an RBI triple that scored Xavier Smith. And he also would score on a pass ball from Speranza. The 1-1. Just misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jones. Coming into this game, hitting .279 through his first 16 games as a Blue Sox, 12 hits in 43 at-bats. Speranza misses low, now 3 balls and 1 strike.
He's at risk of issuing his 3rd walk of the day. Has had 1 in each of the last 2 innings, but still hasn't given up a run since the first.
Last time these 2 teams played, walks was an issue for the Stallions pitching staff. They walked more guys than they struck out. The 3-1 fouled away, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the top of the 4th on Jones.
Big pitch here for Speranza. Searching for his 5th K of the day, and this would be a big one given the runner at first.
That being Matt Coelho after he singled with 1 out. Not going anywhere. The payoff is tapped foul down the third baseline, so we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Andrew Speranza threw 3 1/3, giving up 2 earned on 4 hits to go with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. Long hold from Speranza, the kick and the pitch outside, ball 4. Runners now on second and first for Utica with Sean Stuza stepping up to the batter's box.
Just unfortunate for Speranza to work back in that count, get it full, and then just miss. But the good thing about that, if you want to take a positive from it, is that you can go to any bag now on the infield for an out.
Souza hits from the left-handed side, and today he lined out to Ford in his only at-bat that came back in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Here today at Cantine. First pitch to him misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. And there is still no action either in the Stallions bullpen, so head coach Colin Martin giving his southpaw a little bit of room to work with here in the top of the 4th inning after Keller Osmond did a nice job last night for the Stallions, who went 5 of just 2-run baseball. The 1-0 in there on the outside corner for strike 1.
That's not a part of the zone that we've really seen Speranza attack so far today. It's been mostly low. That could be a new place for him to start garnering some strikes.
And he's been attacking the zone with his fastball. That one doing the same thing as well. The 1-1 Another fastball on the outside corner, Dan, in the exact same spot for back-to-back strikes.
What I tell you, maybe I'm a mind reader, but that spot's been working really well for Speranza so far, especially in this at-bat. I would go back to it here.
1 strike away from picking up his 5th strikeout of the evening. The 1-2. Grounded in play. Speranza fields, throws over to second. Maroney acting as a first baseman over there. The shortstop will make the play for the second out, but Speranza bobbled it on the mound a little bit. That would have been a 1-6-3 double play and sent the Stallions back to the batter's box to hit in the bottom of the half of the inning.
And it just seemed like when that ball was hit to him on the mound, he wasn't completely sure at first where he was going to go. Eventually flipped, and even that throw to Maroney was a little bit high. So got to be grateful just to get it out there, and for that not to be an error. A much more low-pressure situation here. Runners at the corners with 2 down.
For the 3rd time here in the first 4, Utica has a runner in scoring position. Colella is over at third after he reached on a single. He was the second hitter of the inning. Speranza started Ryan Ulysses with a first pitch ground ball over to the third baseman Kaminsky. The 1-0. Did he go around? Home plate umpire Jeff Ramsdale says he did. 4 strike 1, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. Stallions still trailing 2-1. Duncan Cullinane now in the batter's box for Utica. He is 0 for 0 here today. He walked his last time up as he takes strike 2 here.
It's a big pitch here for Speranza. Would love to leave runners stranded and give the Stallions a chance to tie up this game and really keep it a 1-run ball game.
Cullinane hits 200 coming into today. 5 hits in 25 at-bats. Speranza just misses the zone there on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, 2 runners on for Utica. Colella is over at third. Souza is over at first. Colella singled, and Souza reached on a fielder's choice against Andrew Speranza, who's been the starting pitcher for the Stallions here today. The 2-2 misses inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes now.
That's been a problem in this start for Speranza. He'll go up 0-2, 1-2 in a count, and then just throw a couple of waste pitches that really put a lot of pressure on him to deliver in a full count. And now you got even more pressure with Jones on the move here.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The payoff pitch misses low. Ball 4, second walk of the inning. For Speranza, sets up the Utica Blue Sox with the bases loaded. And 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Still no arm for the Stallions in that pen. 1 now starting to get a little bit loose, but they had nobody ready, and we're going to see a mound visit here from pitching coach Praxi Vigil.
Through 3 2/3, Speranza now has 4 walks to go with 4 strikeouts. He's given up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, both coming in the first inning. He put up consecutive zeros in the second and third. Only 1 guy reached base, Jager Naylor, back in the 3rd inning, but he was then doubled up to end the 3rd after Xavier Smith hit a pop-up and Naylor had no idea how many outs there were.
And now in this inning, if I'm Speranza, this is just the hitter I want at the plate. You struck him out in the second swinging, and his batting average coming into this game is just sitting at 206. He's only got 3 RBIs on the season, so this is a perfect guy for Speranza to straight up attack, try and force that strikeout. Who knows if he'll end up getting it, but Barraza has 11 on the year, which is second highest on the team.
Parker Barraza stepping into the batter's box. He hits 9th in the Utica Blue Sox lineup today. Both teams using the extra hitter. Waldy Rodriguez is the extra hitter. He's on deck for Utica. But Barraza only 7 hits in his first 34 at-bats as a member of the Blue Sox, this being his 12th game played for Utica. First pitch to him misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. But Dan, the last time these two teams played up at Donovan Stadium, Barraza was the only player in the Utica Blue Sox lineup that had more than 1 hit. He was 2 for 4 with a run and a strikeout.
Well, things change, and Speranza's already down in this count. Just don't walk him here. Put a ball in play.
The 1-0. Fires in a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike now. There is now action in the Stallions bullpen. Greg Bruno throwing in the bullpen for Saugerties, the recent commit to Seton Hall after entering the transfer portal.
Flamethrower, too.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Carroll snap down. Throw to third. Not in time to get Colella. But nonetheless, Dan, Speranza is ahead in yet another at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. Bases full of Blue Sox. Colella over at third. Souza at second. Cullinane over at first. Colella had the lone hit in the inning. Souza and Cullinane both reached by way of the walk. The 1-2 pitch. Put in play over to the second baseman, Z. He fields and will step on the bag to get the Stallions out of the jam. Speranza allows 3 base runners, but none come around to score. Stallions coming to the bat in the bottom half of the 4th, still trailing 2-1. Stallions coming to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning with the middle of their lineup. 2, 3, 4 due up for Saugerties. Cameron Carroll will lead things off. Jamie Z is on deck, and Justin Ford in the hole against starting pitcher Luke Baker, who through the first 3 innings has looked spectacular. Only 1 hit on 1 run. He's retired the last 8 guys he's faced. First pitch to Carroll, a strike on the outside corner. Carroll here today is 0 for 1 with a fly out to left.
Just the guy that you want up here for the Stallions, kind of playing the role of Captain America. He's got the all red, white, and blue arm sleeve with the America jerseys, and I was talking to him before this game. He's a guy from Weber, head coach Colin Martin, also the head coach at Weber. He told me that he heard a lot from his fellow players down there who have played here in Saugerties about how special this night is, and Carroll especially fired up to be here tonight.
This is by far the biggest crowd of the season here at Cantine for the 4th of July game as Carroll lines this one over to the shortstop, Colella, who makes the nice play up the middle for the first out. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, now 9 straight guys retired by Baker.
And what I'm wondering is the Stallions now in 3 consecutive innings, their first batter has lined out in the infield. They've gone 3rd, 2nd, short. So I guess in the bottom of the 5th, be ready for a line out over to first.
Souza is the first baseman for Utica here today. But Jamie Z steps into the batter's box for the Stallions. He takes strike 1 on the outside corner. The slugging second baseman today is 0 for 1. He flew out to center back in the first inning on what looked like a check swing. That one misses on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to Z.
Stallions need some offense. They've gone completely cold, and Justin Ford still only has the only hit in the game.
His hit came back in the first inning. It also scored Reese Maroney, the only run to come around to score for the Stallions through the first 3 and a third innings on offense. Z now in a 2-ball, 1 strike count And Dan, this is just the guy in the batter's box looking to spark something. He has 9 extra base hits this season. He leads the PGCBL in homers with 5 and had a 2-home run game here at Cantine against the Diamond Dogs. The 2-1 pitch, grounded over to short. Kalela fields, fires across the diamond in time to retire Z. Out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th.
Just seems like the Stallions' offense has no momentum. They're not working deep into counts. They're not putting pressure on Baker. All the contact has been relatively soft up to this point. So you're really looking for more out now of Justin Ford, who has the only hit in the game for Saugerties.
And the last 4 hitters for the Stallions have also all grounded out to shortstop. First pitch to Ford is in there for a strike. Breaking ball finds the outside corner. 4 strike 1. Ford is the only hit here today. It was an RBI single that scored Reese Maroney back in the first inning after Utica plated 2 in the first themselves on 3 hits against starting pitcher Andrew Speranza. The 0-1 just misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think that's the biggest thing right now. In the ballpark, it feels like this is a 5-run game and the Stallions have nothing. This is a 1-swing ball game. Justin Ford could theoretically tie it up right now.
Lines this one over to center field, and it will get down for a base hit. Falls in front of the center fielder Jones for Utica. Justin Ford now has 2 hits. The only 2 hits for the Stallions here today through the first 3 2/3 on offense.
Passo at the dish now. He had a hard hit ball over to second base in the first inning. Look for him to shoot one in between the first and second baseman over there on the right side. There's a pretty big gap right now.
And in the last game that he played in the win against Glens Falls, 9-5 here at Cantine, he scorched 3 different baseballs. First pitch to him is low, 1 ball and no strikes, but he had a double back in the first inning and nearly missed a grand slam here at Cantine over to right field. The right fielder made the play just a couple steps in front of the wall, and he also was robbed of a triple when he had a line drive to the left center gap that the center fielder made the nice play on for Glens Falls as Baker checks over on Ford at first.
Would really love back-to-back hits here. Stallions need to start putting some pressure onto Baker.
Goes off the catcher's glove, Barraza, and that allows Ford to advance another 90 feet here in the 4th inning. Now, Ford's single actually broke up a streak for Baker where 9 straight Stallions had been retired.
And that play in particular, the Stallions have been practicing over the last 5 games, especially with Justin Ford. They have him fake steal to phase the catcher out, and Barraza thought he needed to get it down, fumbled it, and Ford gets over to second safely.
Ford is second on the team in stolen bases with 12 and only has been caught twice. But the Stallions as a whole lead the PGCBL in that category as Passo takes on the inside corner. 4 strike 1. Through his first 15 games, Dylan Passo has put up a nice season thus far. 281 batting average, 18 hits, and 64 at-bats to go with 5 RBIs and 5 doubles. The 2-1 pitch. High fly ball out of play down the right field line. There is an arm warming in the Utica Blue Sox bullpen. Luke Baker has gotten them through 3 2/3, only given up 2 hits, 1 earned run. No strikeouts to go with a walk. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner over at second. That is Justin Ford against number 22, Dylan Passo. The pitch misses inside. Passo has to slide step out of the way. Now the count goes full.
You got Hobbin Siefkin waiting on deck, who's very hot. A couple of home runs against the Mohawks the other day. Ford could be put in motion here in a full count with 2 down as well.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The kick and the pitch. Fly ball down the left field line. Ulysses making a run for it, and it will land out of play. We'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Justin Ford over at second. He singled with 2 outs and advanced on the pass ball from Barraza behind the dish for Utica. But Passo now about to see the 8th pitch in this at-bat from Baker.
This has been a battle. Passo trying to win it here. And this would be a really big run for the Stallions. They would love to get one back in this count.
Baker steps off. Looking for new signs from Barraza. Lone Paso has 5 RBIs through his first 15 games as a Stallion. The rising Notre Dame freshman just completed his senior year at Red Bank Catholic. The 3-2. High fly ball out into center field. Jones coming in on it, camped underneath it, and will make the play to end the 4th inning. Stallions had a runner in scoring position, but did not send him home to score. We're going to the 5th. Saugerties still trailing 2-1. Welcome back to Cantine. Top of the 5th inning, Stallions still trailing 2-1, but have made a move. A Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen brings in Greg Bruno, the firing right-hander. For the Stallions, now throws a pitch and misses way upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes.
Bruno tops 97. He just committed to Seton Hall for next season. So big congratulations to Greg Bruno. And he's looking to pitch here for the Stallions, keep some consistency, some zeros on the board. They've had 3 straight on the pitching side of things.
This being appearance number 6 for Bruno, now in a 3-ball, no strike count. He's missed with all of his first 3 pitches here in the top of the 5th inning. Appearance number 6. He's pitched 8 innings this summer, an ERA of 9 to go with 12 strikeouts in the 8 innings. 4-pitch walk to the leadoff hitter, Rodriguez, sets the table for the top of the order for Utica.
And the last appearance for Bruno was in that loss to the Glens Falls Dragons a little while ago. And in that game, he just struggled with the control in the 9th.
Bruno went 1 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 earned to go with 2 strikeouts. But the big swing of that one in the 9th was a Joe Carpier's 2-run homer off Bruno that gave Glens Falls the lead 5-4. And the Stallions did not come back and drop that one by that score here at Cantine back on June the 28th. They did get their revenge against Glens Falls 2 nights ago, winning 9-5 in a game where they had to use 4 pitchers and score 9 runs to cover the 9-5 win against Glens Falls. Stallions now sit at 13-10, 4.5 games back of the first place Amsterdam Mohawks, and have won 2 of their last 3. First pitch to Naylor. First strike for Bruno here in the top of the 5th inning, ahead in the count 0-1.
And that's the Greg Bruno that we know just pounds the zone with that fastball that comes in 93 to 95. Such a weapon that really no batters in this league have kept up with it so far.
The kick and the pitch misses upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Now 5 of the first 6 have missed from Bruno, but this is a guy who, coming into his 3rd appearance of the season, had a 0 ERA, but he has allowed 4 earned against Glens Falls in back-to-back appearances. That's why his ERA sits at 9. Checks over the runner at first. Waldy Rodriguez is over there. He had the 4-pitch walk to start things. Jager Naylor today is 0 for 1 with a walk. He led things off in the first with a ground ball to the 3rd baseman, Casey Comiskey, and he walked in the 3rd before being doubled up because he didn't know how many outs there were. The 1-1, swing and a miss. 4 strike 2.
Jagger had no shot at that one, blew the gas right by him. If I'm Bruno, going straight back to that right here, searching for the first K of the outing.
And his last appearance against Glens Falls, Bruno topped out at 97 miles an hour, one of, if not the hardest thrower in this Stallions pitching staff. The 1-2 pitch. Popped foul out of play down the right field line, so we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning, Greg Bruno in relief of Andrew Speranza, who through the first 4 gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs to go with 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. Dan, back-to-back games now where the Stallions have gotten good length from their starter.
That's 3 straight games where their starters have pitched over 4 innings, and on that last pitch right there to Naylor, it was just a last-second chop to foul it down the right field line. He's behind the fastball right now. If I'm Bruno, top of the zone, and go back to the 4-seamer.
The fastball is Bruno's power pitch. He's thrown it all 4 pitches to Naylor here in this at-bat. The 1-2, Rodriguez away from first. Carroll's throw down is in time to nail the runner, Waldy Rodriguez, for the first out here in the top of the 5th. Nice play from the catcher.
And Nick, what I tell you, throw fastball 4-seamer at the top of the zone. Even though they got the swing and miss there from Naylor, because of Bruno's velocity, Carroll beat Rodriguez to the bag by a mile, and now gets some help from his defense, 1 down.
Utica coming into this one, 43 out of 50 for stolen bases. That's only the 8th time they've gotten caught stealing, but they're 13th in that category as Bruno just misses the zone with the breaking ball. Now full count on the leadoff hitter, Naylor.
That could have gone either way. That was at the top of the zone. Ramsdale has not been calling the pitch up there so far today, but I would still go back to it if I'm Bruno.
Bruno does not work out of the windup even with no runners on. Comes set at the belt. The kick and the pitch. In there, 4 strike 3. Greg Bruno picks up his first strikeout of the game and 5th for Stallions pitching through the first 4 2/3.
And Naylor just threw his bat on that last pitch. He thought that he was getting the free pass right there. Ramsdale rings him up, and it was the fastball once again. He didn't even give that one a swing.
13th strikeout of the season for Bruno, and this being his 6th appearance now through 8 2/3 innings pitched. Only 3 walks as well, so this is a guy who does a great job of throwing strikes. First pitch to Vincent Cowdery is exactly that, a first pitch strike, no balls, and 1 strike with now 2 outs after the caught stealing and strikeout on back-to-back pitches in the 5th. The 0-1 from Bruno misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike on Cowdery. He's 0 for 2 here today. He was one of Speranza's 4 strikeouts back in the first, and he also flew out to the center fielder Fitzsimmons back in the 3rd. 0 for 2 through his first 2 plate appearances. The 1-1 misses low. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. Cowdery coming into this game, 11 hits in 40 at-bats. In 11 games played, good for a .275 batting average, 6th highest on this Utica Blue Sox team. The 2-1 pitch is a high fly ball into the right center gap. On the run is Fitzsimmons. He cannot make the play. It will bounce twice and then hit the wall. Fitzsimmons picks it up. Rounding second and going to third is Cowdery. The throw is in time. The tag is in time. Beautiful defense from the Stallions. It went from Fitzsimmons to Maroney to Comiskey to nail Cowdery at third base and send the Stallions to bat in the bottom of the fifth.
And what a play that was right there. A two-hopper off the wall. Fitzsimmons hits the cutoff man Maroney, and he has a rocket of an arm. Fires straight into Comiskey. Cowdery slips into the bag a little bit, and the Stallions put up a 0 in a 1-2-3 inning. Not the most conventional one, but they make it work.
Greg Bruno has a strikeout and help from his defense with the caught stealing and the 8-6-5 relay to nail Cowdery out third. We're going to the bottom of the fifth with the Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen for Utica.
This is always an option. Pitching to Utica. Now on mound, number 27, Tanner Sharp. Or Tanner Sharp. That's our scoreboard operator.
So it's really, really fun.
Now, what do you say you most look forward to about the game night?
I guess, like I said, kind of seeing everybody here, the environment, everybody kind of comes out to support us, and yeah, the environment is awesome, so probably the environment.
Now, you helped Aid get the first run across the plate with your RBI. What are the expectations for the game tonight, and what have you guys had during your pregame talk?
Yeah, we're just trying to score early and often. I think we're getting our swing off, which is good. Kind of a lot of unlucky outs to start. Just got to keep swinging it, and we'll get something going here. So.
Amazing. Thank you so much, and good luck with the rest of your game. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Hannah. Justin Ford has 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats through the first 4 innings on offense. He also has driven in the lone run for the Stallions, who are trailing 2-1 here in the bottom of the fifth, and it's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for Utica. Tanner Sharp now coming in for Luke Baker, who, Dan, was spectacular, retiring 10 of the last 11 hitters he faced.
Really was, and it makes sense why the Blue Sox make the call to the bullpen here in the bottom of the fifth. Baker was starting to run into some trouble there down the stretch against Justin Ford at the end of that fourth. But you can really not ask for much more out of your starter if you are the Blue Sox. 4 innings of 2-hit, 1-run ball.
This being Sharp's 4th appearance of the season, Travis Hobbins-Siefken will lead things off against Sharp. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Last time Hobbins-Siefken was up was the only time he was in the batter's box, actually. He hit a line drive over to the third baseman, Smith, on the first pitch he saw. Now takes strike 1 from Sharp. The 0-1, big swing and a miss, fouled off to the netting behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Hobbins-Siefken comes into this game second in the PGCBL in homers behind Jamie Z, who is also on the Stallions. Hobbins-Siefken has 4, 2 here at Cantine and 2 in the same game up at Shuttleworth Park. The 0-2, fouled off once more. We'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, bottom of the fifth.
And this is a guy the Stallions have to jump on. Sharp has by far and away the highest ERA on this team, a 42-43 through 3 appearances and 2 1/3 innings. He's let up 11 earned runs in those 2 1/3. So a guy the Stallions can really beat up on.
The 0-2 is a high fly ball, foul along the left side. Third baseman Smith will make the play to retire Hobbins-Siefken in back-to-back plate appearances for the right fielder. 1 out in the bottom of the fifth.
While the Stallions only had 1 run, what they didn't do was strike out. No strikeouts for Baker. They've been very disciplined at the plate tonight.
And this is a Stallions team that doesn't strike out very much. They have the third fewest on the season, 144 through their first 23 games, only averaging about 6 Ks per night. And this team had 8 last time they played against the Utica Blue Sox in the 5-4 walk-off loss up at Donovan Stadium. First pitch from Sharp to Baker is a foul ball to the netting behind home plate. No balls and 1 strike. Baker here today is 0 for 1. He had a ground ball to the second baseman Naylor back in the second inning. In that inning, the Stallions offense went down 1-2-3, the only time they've done so through the first 4. The 0-1. Sharp fires in a strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
I was right down the middle to Baker. Finds himself in the 0-2 count. And Sharp, a guy who only has 3 strikeouts so far this year.
Looking for number 4, ahead 0-2, fires and misses low. 1 ball and 2 strikes on George Baker. The designated hitter from Louisville just completed his sophomore year, where he had a homer to go with 3 doubles and had 5 hits for the Cardinals as a whole this past spring. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for the Stallions offense here comes in the bottom of the 5th inning by way of Baker, and first strikeout for Sharp.
This is the first appearance for Sharp since pitching against the Oneonta Outlaws on the road on June 22nd. In that game, just 2/3 of an inning, and he gave up 6 earned runs in that time.
Against the 7th-seeded Outlaws, who come into today's game against Mohawk Valley with a record of 3-19, 14 games back of the first-place Amsterdam Mohawks. But Casey Comiskey now steps into the batter's box, and he's ahead in the count. 1-0. Now goes fishing for strike 1.
The interesting thing is, Nick, the only inning that Sharp has pitched cleanly this year was against the Stallions at home. Only let up a singular hit in 1 inning. In every other outing, he's let up at least 5 earned runs.
And the Stallions had only had 3 hits in the 5-4 loss to the Blue Sox earlier this year. This was the 9th game of the season for the Stallions, this being number 24 here tonight. Saugerties sits at 13-10, 4.5 games back of the first-place Mohawks. The 2-1 pitch in the dirt, 3 balls and 1 strike on Casey Comiskey, who here today ended the second inning with a fly ball out to left. But, Dan, we've been saying it now over the last couple games. Casey Comiskey has been red hot. 12 for 13 for his last 27 over his last 6. The 3-1. Fouled off to the netting behind home plate. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. Tanner Sharp in for his first inning of work in relief of Luke Baker, who went 4 innings. Gave up only 2 hits, both to Justin Ford. 1 earned run to go with 1 walk and no strikeouts. For a guy who coming into today had a over 6 ERA through his first 5 appearances. The 3-2 pitch is lined out to center field, but it's right at Jones in center. 1-2-3 inning for Sharp, and second 1-2-3 inning for the Stallions offense through the first 5. We head to the 6th. Saugerties still trailing 2-1 with Greg Bruno coming out to pitch. Welcome back to Cantine. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. Top of the 6th inning, and we have a special visitor here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. It is Jack Viator, the director of social media for the Saugerties Stallions. Jack, welcome aboard.
Thanks. Excited to be back. Missed it.
Well, Jack, I think in all the innings that you've come on, I would want to say 2 out of 3 have been 1, 2, 3. So let's try and make that 3 for 4. I mean, at the top of the 6th.
That'd be great. I'm not getting enough clout with these short innings, but I'm having a good time, and Stallions are efficient when I'm on. So let's keep that rolling. No complaints on my side.
Leadoff hitter is Xavier Smith, and Bruno fires in a strike for the first pitch of the inning here in the top of the 6th. And Jack, can you just share with the viewers at home what it is that you do for the Stallions? Obviously, director of social media, you kind of oversee the whole social media process and everything.
Yeah, our boss just said about 10 minutes ago, it claims I just do work walking around, but I like to have fun, just kind of doing graphics, videography, posting, just trying to be as creative as possible and provide as much content as I can for the people that can't be here.
The 1-1 is now a strike.
Jack, what I'm curious about is, Nick told me earlier that he just straight up doesn't like hot dogs, and I feel like it's quite unpatriotic if you don't like hot dogs, and it's not your first pick on July 4th.
No. For clarity, Jack, just to cut you off for 1 second, I like hot dogs, but I would rather a cheeseburger. But Jack, go ahead.
Well, I mean, for people that don't know, Nick's just a little weird. So people that don't like hot dogs are just a little weird. I mean, shout out our producer Bella. She's
hot dog
kind
lover,
of insane.
Hot
when
dog
it comes to hot
connoisseur,
dogs.
one may say.
One may say the greatest hot dog eater of all time.
We're just gonna have to wait till that hot dog eating competition, which hopefully will make the social media airwaves in a couple weeks' time.
Hey, we'll make it happen.
Stay
tuned. July 17th.
We did a wing eating competition amongst the interns, and Jack, how did that turn out? I wonder who won that one.
I had nachos.
He wasn't a qualified participant, so I don't think you can really count it. Nick, you were the winner in that one by a good margin. I'll give you credit.
Hey, thanks, man. Xavier Smith now in a 2-ball, 2-strike count to lead things off against Greg Bruno, who just recently committed to Seton Hall a couple days ago out of the transfer portal. The 2-2 pitch lined up the middle. Maroney fields, takes a crow hop, throws over to first in time for out number 1 here in the 6th.
Just going back to food, Nick, you're a big burger guy. What's your go-to burger?
Go-to burger, I'm going to have to go double bacon cheese for sure. Got to throw a little bacon on there.
All right.
Casual to-go burger, though, I would probably say Five Guys is still my number 1. If we're talking national chain-wise, a place where you can just go and get a burger, Five Guys, Shake Shack on occasion, and In-N-Out Burger when you're on the West Coast. But you can't say that as your number 1 answer because you can't get it all the time.
Buns Burgers.
I'm a Buns guy,
yeah.
Shout out my pops, owner of Buns. If you're local to Saugerties, Kingston, Poughkeepsie, or Rhinebeck, go get you some buns in your life. You'll need it.
0-1 now, 0-2 against Ryan Ulysses, the cleanup hitter in the Utica Blue Sox lineup. He has the big swing here today, an RBI triple back in the first, and he came around to score on a pass ball from Speranza, responsible for both Blue Sox runs in a no-ball, 2-strike count against Bruno. The kick and the pitch. Up and in now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But Jack, you're obviously a local guy from Rhinebeck, just about 20 minutes from Cantine. Can you describe what it's like to celebrate the 4th of July here in Saugerties?
Oh, I mean, it's great. No one really does it like Saugerties. Even in my hometown, Rhinebeck or Kingston or anywhere around, there's just not much excitement compared to Saugerties. You have the parade in the morning and just seeing all the giant crowd that it gets. And then, we got about 2,000 people here right now. And it's just the passion Saugerties has for the 4th is unmatched. It's pretty cool to see.
And you mentioned that parade. You were participating in the parade on the Stallions float. Can you describe what it was like to be a part of the parade?
Well, Jack and I were on there together, and nice strikeout right there from Bruno.
Second strikeout for Bruno now. In the first 5 hitters he's faced through an inning and 2/3, 14 now on the season. But Jack, can you describe the parade?
Oh yeah, it was great. Just seeing the fans interact with the players, getting the players probably throwing about 105 miles an hour at kids with pieces of candy, and sometimes people unknown, also known as my dad, will throw me beer, and I will drink that. But,
And just to clarify, Jack,
I am
you
of age.
are of
I am of age. That'll work. But, yeah, no, just seeing the passion, fans have smiles on their faces. Just people in the town have smiles on their faces. Players always enjoy it. And just
Maybe
talking.
that'll be our Kraus chocolate play of the game. Just you getting that.
My
that
shotgun?
beer. You did a nice shotgun, although I'll give you a little bit of slack as the can wasn't the cleanest break by you.
Yeah. It happens. We're gonna work on our craft and get better. But I mean, hey, I got my first base runner on in about 3 games, so that's pretty exciting to see.
And that is a 2-out single from Matt Colella. He's the shortstop for Utica. Bringing up Connor Jones, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He walked back in the 4th and ended the first inning with a backwards K against Speranza. Greg Bruno still out on the mound for the Stallions. The kick and the pitch. Fires in a strike on the outside corner, and Jack did his best umpire impersonation with the hook in the background there for strike 1. Jack, can you describe what you're seeing from the Stallions here today through the first 5 2/3?
We've been pretty solid on the mound. We got 2 quick outs in the first, and kind of seemed like in the blink of an eye they had 2 runs on. But I like how Speranza responded. I like how Bruno's come in and did his job. I just want to see a little bit more from the bats. I know they have the potential and capability of doing it, and I think if we just get one going. We've had a couple hits with 2 outs, but it feels like the first 2 batters each inning are getting out, which is hard to build momentum with.
Bruno checks on Colella over at first, and tonight is firework night here at Cantine. Jack, how excited are you to see those sparklers go up in the air?
I mean, it's like a kid on Christmas, I'm just excited to see all the colors. Just seeing the crowd, we'll probably have about 5,000 people here, which is pretty cool to see, in a small town like Saugerties. But we're just having fun, man. We're having a good time.
And you obviously worked for the Stallions last year, so you were a part of the July 4th festivities this past summer and back in 2024. So can you describe what they're like for someone who has not been a part of the 4th of July fireworks here at Cantine?
It's pretty cool, just kind of seeing everyone come together, with no matter who you are, what you believe in or something, it's kind of cool to see everyone just come together and enjoy something like fireworks and kind of forget about the traffic that'll come afterwards, which will probably take about 2 hours to leave. But it's a good time. It's a good time to enjoy.
Bruno now in a 3-ball, 2-strike count with 2 outs, meaning Colella will be over going on the remove on the pitch with a full count and 2 outs. Bruno has 2 strikeouts through his first inning and 2/3 out on the mound. Put up a 0 last inning, looking to do the same here in the 6th. Just misses low. For the full count, walk to Jones, bringing up Sean Souza with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position for the Utica Blue Sox. Sean Souza stepping into the batter's box, 0 for 2 here today. He had a line drive to the left fielder Ford in the 2nd and reached on a fielder's choice back in the 4th inning. But, Jack, this is the most action that the Stallions have seen pitching-wise since you've been on a broadcast.
Yeah.
First run.
First run. Utica will send the runner. Ford throw over to third. Comiskey makes the tag in time to pick up the out, but the run does come around to score. Colella comes around to score on Sean Souza's RBI single, but Ford nails Jones over at third to end things in the top of the 6th. And, Jack, that will end your time on the Stallions broadcast. Thank you so much for everything you do for the Stallions social media and everything else that you do. Make graphics for the pregame and postgame show and everything that you do. So thank you so much. We're going to the bottom half of the 6th from Saugerties. Welcome back to Cantine on the United States of America's 249th birthday, 4th of July, Friday, July 4th. Stallions are still trailing 3-1. Utica plated a run in the last half of the inning. Sean Souza had an RBI single, but Justin Ford ended that inning earlier than expected with a throw over to third. Comiskey applied the tag, and Jones was nabbed down trying to advance from first to third, bringing up the Stallions to bat in the bottom of the sixth, now trailing by 2. With 9-10-1 due up, Dylan Fitzsimmons will lead things off.
And it's a revolving door here tonight in the booth. We got our PA guy, Rob Vanderbeck, and our director of media joining us on the broadcast. Rob, how's it going?
I'm going to pull double duty. I'm going to be on your broadcast while announcing players, because why not? It's the 4th of July. We're going to have some fun.
Rob does a nice job of announcing everyone here at Cantine. And Rob,
You guys doing the YMCA in the booth? I didn't see you guys actually doing it.
did you do it?
I only do the
Always do.
YMCA when I'm a fan. I can't be doing the YMCA.
It's the 4th of July.
Here.
All rules are off. All protocols are off. You're involved. You're part of the scene, man.
Yeah.
And I'm only down here because my social media guy started talking trash about me, so I need to come down here to defend myself.
Do you see
Rob is now introducing Dylan Fitzsimmons as the leadoff hitter for the Stallions in the bottom of the sixth inning. Fitzsimmons is 0 for 1 here today, a line out to the second baseman, Naylor. Back in the third inning, Stallions have only had one base runner in their last 14 hitters, that being a Justin Ford single in the fourth inning off of Luke Baker. Ford has the only 2 hits here today. Fitzsimmons goes swinging and missing 4, strike 1.
And the Stallions need some offense here. Justin Ford with the only 2 hits in the ball game so far.
Stallions now trail 3-1 after Utica plated one in the top half of the sixth on 2 hits. Fitzsimmons takes on the outside corner, first strike 2.
Who's the new wing on the mound out there? Because I didn't announce him, and I need to know how to say his name.
I believe that's Tanner Sharp.
No, we have number 23, new pitcher, according to my spotter. Zatola? Is that who we have out there?
Michael Zatola.
Michael Zatola. Okay, we got all excited doing our broadcast fun, doing the YMCA, which maybe you guys did or didn't do, and we had a pitching change.
Zatola with a 9.53 ERA on the season, 1-1 record. This just his 4th appearance, 5 2/3 coming into this. Up 0-2 on Fitzsimmons.
He's in relief of Tanner Sharp, who pitched a scoreless 5th to go along with a strikeout and 2 flyouts. Fitzsimmons pops this one foul. Smith, the third baseman, takes a look, and it will land out of play into the big crowd here at Cantine. As Rob is currently announcing the pitching change for Utica. Mike Zatola now coming in, this being his 4th appearance as a Blue Sox this summer.
Rob, when's the 2-run comeback coming? The offense has gone quiet here for 5.
Listen, you never know when these guys are going to spark up a great rally, and we're going to throw up a really great crooked number. It's coming.
Fitzsimmons takes outside 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Rob, you're one of the many people here in Saugerties who loves the 4th of July parade. Can you just describe what it was like earlier today?
Dude, there's nothing but great energy out there, right? You got families out there, you got kids out there, people have been doing it for generations, and I love going around and seeing people I've seen for years and years and years. And there we go. I think the Stallions just got something started. You never know when it's going to happen.
Fitzsimmons picks up a broken bat single that went under the glove of the first baseman, Souza, as Naylor, the second baseman, was going over to cover the bag on the slow roller. But the Stallions now have a leadoff runner on for the first time since the first. They scored their lone run of the game, in that inning. Reese Maroney walked and came around to score on a Justin Ford RBI single. Bring it up low. Logan Sanchez, the number 10 hole hitter. He is the extra hitter here tonight for the Stallions. 0 for 1 here today.
That means he's due. He is a clutch hit machine. He really is.
He's averaging about an RBI per game through his first 12 games, hitting just around 275 as he takes a first pitch ball.
We get a new pitcher on the mound. He's trying to find his own. Defense lets him down. This is just primed for a great Stallions rally, guys.
Fitzsimmons over at first has plenty of speed, but Sanchez takes A ball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Rob, we got fireworks tonight. Firework night coming up later at the conclusion of this game. How excited are you?
I love fireworks, right? You got to feel them, right? And these fireworks, that finale, you're going to feel that in your chest. It's a great night. And we have fireworks next Sunday night, too, guys.
And we have
that's
fireworks
getting down.
from Sanchez as he picks up a single. Back-to-back runners now
Did I
for
call
the
that?
Stallions that have reached base. And, Rob, it looks like you're onto something here.
I think I called that, Dan, didn't I?
I asked you when's the rally coming, and you said you never know, and immediately back-to-back singles.
There it is.
And the top of the order is now rolling around for the Stallions. Reese Maroney due up next. He had a line drive, a one-hopper over to the shortstop, Colella, his last time up in the third, to go along with a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. All that took place in the first inning. Now, Rob, with the leadoff hitter up, I'm going to ask you to put on your managerial cap here. If you're head coach Colin Martin, do you have Maroney drop down the bunt with Cameron Carroll on deck?
You know, I got to tell you, I really would. I love fundamental baseball.
And
there it is. And he's gonna be gone clean.
Maroney lays
He's
down
on
a
clean.
beauty, and he picks up a bunt base hit to load the bases full of ponies here on July 4th. Stallions looking to provide the fans here at Canton with plenty of fireworks. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Got Captain America at the plate, and a beautiful bunt there from Maroney. He legs it out. Rob, I don't think there's a guy I'd rather want at the plate here on July 4th right now.
And this is fantastic. Bases loaded. And now Bella's trying to figure it out as producer. When Rob comes down, we get rallies. Should I bring him down here more often? Which is a terrifying thought for her because this is not normal. I love it.
First pitch to Carroll. Misses inside, 1 ball and no strikes. 3 consecutive hits for the Stallions to start the 6th inning. Fitzsimmons was the first, followed by Sanchez and Reese Maroney. With the bunt single, bases loaded, the number 2 hole hitter, Cameron Carroll, in a 1 ball, no strike count. The 1-0 pitch lands in there for a strike right at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Base is full of ponies, Rob.
Let's get after it. You have to get, I think, bases loaded, nobody out. You got to get 2 here. We got to tie this ball game at the very least right here. Critical moment in the game.
Biggest moment of the game.
First time this game since the first where the Stallions have had a runner in scoring position, and Carroll lines this one foul. Now behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But Dan, you brought it up earlier. Carroll has been just as consistent as it comes. 9 RBIs through his first 11 games as a Stallion. A base hit would tie the game at 3 and be number 10 and 11 for Carroll this season.
Would love to see it. He's got that lefty power. Got to go to work here in the 1-2 count.
He wants that pitch back, too. That's the one he wanted.
The 1-2 from Zatola misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Rob, I don't want to jump ahead here, but the power slugger Jamie Z is waiting on deck. What have you seen from the young gun this season?
He is fearless. He is going to go after it. Good plate approach, but always bringing the power approach. Love it.
He leads the PGCBL in homers with 5. The 2-2 pitch is flied out to center field. Going back on it is Jones. He will make the play. Fitzsimmons tags at third, and Sanchez tags from second. Stallions add a run, but still plenty of more fireworks getting ready to be queued up. 3-2 game and runners on the corners for Jamie Z. Cameron Carroll does the job, picking up his 10th RBI of the season, making it a 1-run ball game.
That's just the job you want to see right there from Cameron Carroll. At the very minimum, plate the run and move one over. Now the Stallions, another ball to the outfield with a guy who hits the ball a far away, ties up this ball game.
Z has 9 extra base hits, 5 for home runs, 4 for doubles, including a 2-home run game against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Here at Canton, the fans here, just about over 2,000 fans looking for some fireworks before the ending of the game. First pitch to Z. Misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Rob, can you just describe what it would be like if Z were to hit a 3-run homer right here?
I'm hoping I can show you what it's going to be like. Because I'm going to freak out both on this mic and on the field mic. I'm going to hit them both. That's what we're going to do.
Maybe at the same time.
Oh, no, absolutely. That's what's happening.
Z lines one, and that will get through for a base hit. Jamie Z ties the game up at 3, and still plenty of action going on for this Stallions offense. Runners on second and first. Stallions so far have played a 2 in the inning. just in time for Justin Ford to step into the batter's box, who's 2 for 2 here today.
Just what you want from Jamie Z. You know he's a power hitter, but he can also shoot one in between the infielders. Runners at first and second, and Justin Ford, a perfect 2 for 2 here tonight.
RBI number 17 for
Let's
Z
go for
on
it.
the season through his first 15 games as a Stallion. First pitch to Ford, slow breaking ball that lands on the outside corner. 4 strike 1, and Rob, Ford played with the Stallions last year, and all he did was rake.
This kid's just got it, right? And love to see him come back. Saw him on the lineup, saw him on the roster, saw him when he first showed up. I'm like, this is a guy you want to have back.
The 0-1 is
This
put
is
in
a
play.
dude who's just anchoring your
Coella
stuff.
Fields flips to Naylor over to first. Not
He's
in
safe.
time, and Maroney will come around to score.
First
to
baseman's
give-
posing with the ball.
give-
Stallions take the lead.
Stallions take the lead indeed. 4-3 Saugerties on the RBI fielder's choice from Ford. And now back 2 out of the last 3 games where Maroney has scored on a fielder's choice from Ford. The other one came in the 11-8 loss up at Shuttleworth Park. But more importantly, Dan, Stallions take the lead 4-3.
And that's just heads up base running right there from the Stallions. You know that over at first, Sosa's going to take a little while with it. And Reese Maroney did that last game, does it again here tonight.
What was the first baseman doing? He was like posing with the ball, like waiting for a call. And you got a guy halfway down the line to home.
Maroney has great speed and took full advantage of it, scoring the go-ahead run here in the 6th. Stallions have plated 3 on 4 hits. It started with a Fitzsimmons single, Sanchez single, Maroney bunt single, then Cameron Carroll sac fly, Jamie Z RBI single, and that latest swing from Ford on the RBI fielder's choice gave the Stallions a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th with Dylan Passo in a 2-ball no-strike count.
And it's all hustle plays, right? That's a ground ball, should be a double play. He's still hustling that thing out to make sure that he gives his teammates every chance. And here we go, down the line. That's getting down. That's in the corner.
It will roll all the way to the wall.
He's coming. He's
Ford
coming.
rounds third and heads
Coach Martin
for
with the
home.
windmill.
The throw from Naylor is offline.
He almost
and
threw
not
that ball in the booth.
time. Stallions lead 5-3 on the RBI extra base hit from Dylan Passo.
There it is, the offense coming alive. It's a 4-run bottom of the 6th. Passo with a great job right there. We've been waiting to see it from him. Just sticks it in the right spot. He could have even gotten over to third on that play. But man, oh man, Stallions coming alive, and they've got a 2-run lead here.
6th RBI and 6th double for Passo this season, this being his 16th game as a Stallion. The 2 rising freshmen in Notre Dame, Rob, have been making a big impact, Passo and Z, for the Stallions this summer.
Just coming up clutch. You got to love it. By the way, when you guys see Jack, our social media director, let him know that his half inning here on the mic was no runs, no hits, nobody left on base. And my inning as a guest, well, we're still going.
Rob, I do have to back check you there. There was one Utica run to come across.
Oh, when Jack was here?
Yeah.
So Jack is actually a jinx? Is that
Exactly.
What
He
you're
heard us.
All right. There you go. Man. I'm not sure if Jack's going to want to come back on the mic here on the broadcast.
Well, before today, he had been on the broadcast a couple times, and the Stallions pitching staff had actually greatly benefited. That was the first run that's come across.
We'll give it to him. Nah, listen, I kid. Jack is absolutely spectacular. He's doing a great job for us here at the Stallions and with you guys on the intern team. And I couldn't be happier, seriously. You guys are doing a hell of a job. You guys in front of the mic. And then we got Bella here in front of me doing a heck of a job doing the producing. She never wants to be on camera, does she? She doesn't want to talk. Do we get her on?
Well, we did have her on. We had her on for the last half inning in Glens Falls a couple of weeks ago, and she was supposed to say a couple words with me. I said, Dan Chow, I'm with Bella Holleran, and then she never ended up saying a single word. So you can't really blame me for not trying to get her on air. I tried. She didn't say anything.
Lack of analysis.
So she's here, but she's just not.
I
she's
said
just
Dan
like
Chow with Bella Holleran, and then she spoke no words.
She just ghosted us.
Yes.
You ghosted us?
Yeah.
All right, I got first words on
There you go.
on
There
the
it
show.
is.
Adabella, I got it. All right.
July 4th, 2025.
It's not fair. I'm the boss. She has to talk, but okay. We got her to say something. That's good. We like it.
3-2 to Haben Siefken. In there
Yeah,
for strike
was.
3. Haben Siefken
Thanks,
goes down
guys.
licking. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining the broadcast. But the Stallions plate 4 on 5 hits. RBI knocks from Paso and Z in the inning, an RBI fielder's choice from Ford as well. Stallions lead 5-3 going to the 7th inning from Canton on America's 249th birthday here at the 4th of July.
All right, ready? Back here in Saugerties, top half of the 7th, a 4-run bottom of the 6th for the Stallions. Puts them up 5-3. We're joined now by one of our sideline reporters, Henry Hipschman. And Henry, Stallions have looked really stable in this game ever since the first on the bump. Just 1 run allowed over the last 5 innings.
Yeah, they've really seen a remarkable improvement over this game and their past game where they've only allowed 8 total earned runs, which is much better than the prior 2 games to that, where they allowed 22 earned runs. I talked to pitching coach Prax Vigil. He said they're just continuing to try and connect with the guys. They want to emphasize to their pitchers to really pay attention to the different hitters as they come to the plate. They don't just want mindless pitching and a mindless rotation of pitches. They want to see how these different batters navigate their swing and how to attack that.
Did Prax talk at all about letting the starters go a little bit more and just kind of the rotation of guys?
Well, we didn't talk about that this game, but we did talk about that last game with Keller Osmond and his incredible outing. He said it's nice to see some guys start to lean into that starter role more.
Really appreciate your analysis, Henry, and excited to hear what you got throughout the rest of this game. Duncan Cullinan at the dish for the Blue Sox. Here in the top half of the 7th, Utica plated a run in the 6th. That was off the RBI single from Sean Sosa. But in the end of that play, getting nabbed at third was Connor Jones. The run still did score, and that is what put Utica up 3-1 at the time before the Stallions' 4-run bottom of the 6th.
4 runs on 5 hits. Dylan Paso, the last run batted in with a double that scored Ford after he knocked in a run on the fielder's choice.
2-1. Misses at the top of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. Greg Bruno, in his 3rd inning of work here in the 7th, came on in the 5th, issued a leadoff walk, then got a strikeout to Jagger Naylor, and then Vincent Cowdre was nabbed trying to extend a double into a triple. He issues another leadoff walk here in the top half of the 7th to Cullinan.
3rd walk of the game for Bruno to go with 2 strikeouts here today. 3 strikeouts.
Stallions have an arm getting ready to go out there in the bullpen. So just a matter of time till Bruno's out of this game, but they've gotten a solid 2 innings of work so far out of their flame-throwing righty. Parker Barraza, the catcher at the plate. Barraza so far in this game is 0 for 2. Barraza tried to lay down the bunt, pulls it back with Bruno skying the fastball. And with so much velocity, that's been a little bit of a point of struggle for Greg Bruno, is the control. It's a lot of power to yield, but he's done a great job and is headed to Seton Hall next season. Barraza squares the bunt once again in a 1-0 count, and he can't lay it down. Snap throw to first goes into the outfield. Haben Siefkin will field it in right. An unforced error there from the Stallions. Cam Carroll throwing down to first. Sky Dylan Paso, and the Blue Sox have a runner in scoring position.
We talked about it pregame. Errors, errors, errors. 19 over the last 6 for the Stallions, now being number 20. They only have 1 win when they've made at least 2 errors in a game. out of 13 wins this season.
Bruno's got to work out of some trouble now. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bruno set at the belt. Here's the pitch. He misses at the top of the zone. Back-to-back counts for Greg Bruno, where he has been down 3-1. It's got to start to come into the mind now of head coach Colin Martin that Bruno could be reaching the point where he needs to be pulled. 3-1. Nails Barraza. That's a hit by pitch. And there's runners at first and second with nobody out. Bruno struggling to start the top half of the 7th. And pitching coach Prax E.V. Hill out of the dugout.
And Bruno was facing guys that he's had success against already. This number 8, 9, and 10 hitters for this Utica Blue Sox lineup. He was coming up against the bottom of the order. Now he's going to be facing at least one of the top 3 hitters for the Utica Blue Sox, with Rodriguez coming up next.
Stallions are going to have to bear down here. They just put up a 4-run bottom half of the 6th to take a 2-run lead, but now the Blue Sox have those 2 runs the Stallions just scored on base with the go-ahead at the plate. Greg Bruno is really going to need to bear down. Waldy Rodriguez, the extra hitter, will be the one at the plate, and so far in this game, he's 0 for 1.
Saugerties Sports Supply Fireworks Display to be able to take a Rangers spots. See all the action over the lead. Left side of the fence. Now plate the edge.
Big at bat here in the top half of the 7th. Stallions will bring the corners in. You would expect Rodriguez to try and lay down the bunt, similar to what the Stallions did in the bottom of the 6th. Then for that reason, Bruno skies the fastball for ball 1. One-0 pitch is hit right back to Bruno. He's going to go to third, and he'll get the force there. A smart decision by Greg Bruno. He gets the lead runner, and there's 1 down here in the top of the 7th.
Beautiful play from Bruno to nail down the runner over at third base. A little bit of a harder bunt from Rodriguez. Bruno fielded it, spun, and threw it over to Comiskey at third, who was acting as a first baseman. Nice PFP from Greg Bruno out on the mound.
Top of the order for the Blue Sox. Jager Naylor at the plate, second baseman. 0 for 2 with the walk here tonight. Trying to come up clutch for his squad with runners at first and second and 1 down here on July 4th. Chops it to Comiskey on the first pitch he sees. He'll go to first. 2 down on the fielder's choice.
Interesting that Comiskey did not try to go to second to get the force out, keeping the tying run over at first base. But now it's at second base, only 100 feet away from scoring. And a Xavier Smith single, Vincent Cowdrey single would tie things up at 5 here in the 7th.
Comiskey, who is the birthday boy tonight, didn't really have much of a chance to go to second base, was coming in on that ball, would have to have gone cross body in order to get the out. First pitch bounces off Carroll's glove. The plate of Bruno at home goes back over to Comiskey. Now Rodriguez coming home and got him at the dish. A wild play to end things here in the top of the 7th, and we're going to give you one more look at it before we go to break, because that play was interesting right there. Carroll, ball went off his glove. He fields it, throws back to Bruno, gets past him, goes to Comiskey. He throws back to home, and the Stallions limit the damage. It's time to stretch here at Cantine Field. We got a 1-run ball game when we come back.
New pitcher, too.
Back here in Saugerties, Dan Challen with you alongside Nick Zuppi. And since there was such an uproar with Bella not being on the broadcast just yet, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Hannah Tampassis, to interview Bella once and for all so everybody can be happy here on July 4th. Hannah, what do you got?
Alongside me, I have our producer, so everything you see on our broadcast is all because of what Bella Holleran does. Now, tell us, what is your day-to-day job like as a producer?
Oh, goodness. I wake up, and then I start making the rundown. I text my talent, which is you, all of you guys, to see if that's what we like. We make the graphics. We get that done. We film the pregame. Then we got to edit everything, which is my job. And then, you know what? We just play some baseball. We do the production up there. It's a lot of fun.
Now, I know you're from Oneonta. Does Oneonta do anything like this, like Saugerties does?
I mean, we do have the Oneonta Outlaws, but we do our fireworks in, like, Niwa Park, which is where the Outlaws play, so it's really similar, yeah. I like their jerseys way better here, though.
Do you have, like, any sort of parade like Saugerties does?
Definitely, yeah. I always had to march in it because I was a band kid.
All right, well, thank you so much, Bella, and enjoy the rest of the game. Back to you guys.
Well, Bella, you better get back up here to start producing because it seems like I'm the one taking over right now on the board. Always great to see the faces that make this all possible behind the scenes for us here in Saugerties, especially on a very important night on July 4th. But, Nick, back to business. There's a new arm on the mound for the Utica Blue Sox.
Yeah, his name is Matthew Callahan. This is going to be his 6th appearance of the season as a Blue Sox through the first 8 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 6 earned runs to go with 8 walks and 7 strikeouts, pitching to an ERA of 6.23.
Callahan into the game, and a switch for the Stallions. At the dish, George Baker is out as DH, and coming in will be John Freitag, the Villanova man. First pitch from Callahan. Misses on the outside corner for ball 1. Freitag is a guy who hasn't really seen that much action for the Stallions so far this season. Has played in 4 games, starting all of them, so this is his first pinch hit appearance. George Baker, so far on the day before getting pulled, 0 for 2, a ground out to second, and a strikeout in the 5th.
That strikeout being the lone strikeout for the Stallions offense here today through the first 6 innings.
2-0. Misses outside, and Freitag's got himself in a 3-ball, no strikeout. The ballpark just about filled to the brim here at Cantine Field. The fireworks after this game slated for 10 p.m. And we're moving efficiently so far here tonight. Already in the bottom of the 7th at the 8:30 mark. Here's the pitch. Callahan finds the zone. First strike of his outing. It's the 4th pitcher on the evening that Utica has used so far in this game. And outside of that small blow-up in the 6th inning, their staff has been pretty solid so far in this game. It's a 5-pitch walk to Freitag to start things here in the 7th.
Before last inning, the combination of Baker and Sharp retired 13 of the last 14 hitters they faced before Zatola gave up 5 hits on 4 runs.
And Sharp just came in for a singular inning of work. No runs, no hits, and a strikeout. Zatola tagged with all 4 runs, gave up 5 hits in that singular inning of work, 1 strikeout and no walks. So he just got hit around.
And there is another arm warming in the Utica bullpen as well. After Callahan has just entered, he's only faced 1 hitter, and that being Freitag, who just walked.
Barraza and Callahan talking things over. Stallions have a runner at first with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Comiskey 0 for 2 on flyouts tonight. Pops one up over to the right side, and Sousa is there to make the play. Third pop out of the evening for Comiskey. One down in the bottom of the 7th.
One of those went to left, the other went to center. Now that one goes to first. 0 for 3 day for Mr. Comiskey, but he's played nice defense here today. 4 ground balls here today. No errors through the first 7 innings.
And now Griffin Crane will make his first plate appearance for the Stallions, pinch hitting for Dylan Fitzsimmons. He's the teammate of George Baker from Louisville. So both of the Cardinals are now here in Saugerties, migrating their way over from Omaha. And it's a cool experience for Crane to get his first at-bat as a Stallion here on July 4th.
Fitzsimmons through his first 2 ABs was 1 for 2 with a single. He started the 4-run inning, last inning in the 6th.
Certainly did, and he came around to score. That was the second run of the game for the Stallions. Crane takes it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Crane, the 5'10", 180 lefty from Cranston, Rhode Island, did not play this past season at Louisville. Another guy that's just looking to get some more reps here with the Stallions. Pitch catches the outside part of the plate. Full count, 1 down. Payoff, runs in and hits Crane. So in his first plate appearance as a Stallion is hit by the pitch. And Saugerties has runners at first and second with 1 down. Logan Sanchez stepping up now. Sanchez had a single, the second of 3 straight, which started the 6th for Saugerties. Came around to score, and that tied the game at 3. Takes in the dirt for ball 1. Stallions searching for back-to-back wins on July 4th and back-to-back wins in the season, coming off that 9-5 win against the Glens Falls Dragons the other day. Would gain a full half game on the Amsterdam Mohawks as they are off tonight. One is chopped over to the third base side, could be 2. On to second, how about first? Not in time as it's fumbled over there by Sousa. Fielder's choice. It'll be scored as a 5-4, and there's runners at the corners with 2 down.
Interesting that the third baseman Smith did not tag Freitag as he was running by him. He chose to actually avoid him with the throw over to second instead of tagging the runner and throwing it over to first on Sanchez, who is not the most fast guy in this Stallions lineup.
Top of the order for the Stallions, Reese Maroney at the plate. Takes at the top of the zone, 4-1. Reese in this game, 1 for 2, and had a walk in the first. Stole a base, came around to score the first run for Saugerties. Two balls and no strikes. Saugerties scored 4 in the bottom of the 6th, looking for back-to-back innings with a run. Utica has back-to-back innings with a run, but just a singular run in both those innings. This one gets away from Barraza. Sanchez will jog over to third. Freitag not going anywhere, but now a ball to the outfield, plates 2, and a 3-0 count. Waiting on deck is Cameron Carroll, had a sac fly in the 6th, which made it a 3-2 ball game at the time.
One of 4 straight hitters in the Stallions lineup to pick up an RBI in that inning as well.
Maroney takes it at the bottom of the zone. For a second straight inning, the bases are loaded. We immediately see one of the Utica staffers right out of the dugout. They want to talk things over before the Stallions' best hitter by average comes to the plate.
That being Cameron Carroll, 385 coming into this one. 11 games played, 15 hits, and 39 at-bats. 2 of those going for extra bases for doubles.
Special guests up in the booth, Tom Perpetua, Aaron lined up here,
now Jeff Ramsdale coming out to break things up on the mound.
Oh, we get you out there. We got a lot of Stallions playing future baseball. We got a lot of interns making careers out of this. These guys are part of that. We love to see it. All right. We got bases full of ponies, and at the plate, your catcher, Cameron Carroll.
Carroll had the sac fly in the 6th, looking to blow this game wide open and plate some insurance runs here for the Stallions in the bottom of the 7th. Utica has an arm warming in the pen. Here's the first pitch from Callahan. Catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. First strike for him in 4 pitches after he issued the 4-pitch walk to Maroney. Slapped over to the short base side. Throw over to first is in time. Stallions leave the bases loaded. Carroll grounds out to short, but they still have a 1-run lead as we go to the 8th.
Guaranteed winner. Sorry, Mike.
Top half of the 8th, Stallions make a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Jace Van Valkenburg out on the mound. The hometown kid looking for the 6-out save.
This is his 9th appearance as a Stallion as well, and he's been very consistent, 2.95 ERA, but came into his last appearance against the Amsterdam Mohawks with only a .79 ERA in 21 1/3 innings before he allowed 4 earned in the 11-8 loss up at Shuttleworth.
Just got knocked around in that game, but before then, a sub-1 ERA, and this is a guy with filthy stuff on the bump. Vincent Cowdrey in the box, and he goes down on 3 pitches. Jace Van Valkenburg showing it off here on July 4th. A backwards K to start his outing, and there's 1 down.
Van Valkenburg picking up the 7th strikeout for Stallions pitching here tonight. Speranza had 4 through his 4 innings of work, and Bruno Cade 2 guys through his 3 innings of work.
Xavier Smith, the third baseman at the dish. 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single in the first. Was the first run to come around to score in this game. And he smacks the ball into left field. Ford going back. He's on the track. It's off the wall. Throws it in quickly to second. It's a stand-up double for Xavier Smith. And the Blue Sox have the tying run aboard.
His 5th extra base hit of the season, 4th double. He also had a triple coming into this game. Huge hit by Smith, setting the table.
So Ryan Ulysses will try and bring him home, and not the guy the Stallions want at the plate. He had the RBI triple in the first, which made it 1-0. He'll take a first pitch ball from Jace Van Valkenburg. Jace retired the first batter he faced on 3 pitches, that being Vincent Cowdrey, and then letting up the double to Xavier Smith. Can't find the zone. Jeff Ramsdale not agreeing with it. It's 2-0.
And Van Valkenburg doesn't walk many guys either. He leads this team in innings with 21 and now 2/3, and only has issued 11 free passes.
Finds the zone there, 4 strike 1. Extra base hits were a problem for Van Valkenburg last time in Amsterdam. Let up a slew of doubles in the 7th inning, in which Amsterdam plated 5 runs. He let up 4 doubles. And now this is going to be another one. Ulysses down the left field line. Coming home to score is Smith. It's a tie ball game, 5-5. Eerily similar to that appearance in Amsterdam in the late innings and giving up loud contact.
Van Valkenburg retired the first guy he faced as well in that last outing before the offensive onslaught continued for Amsterdam.
So the Blue Sox have the go-ahead run at second base with Matt Colella at the plate. And Colella tonight is a perfect 3 for 3 with 3 singles. He'll take a first pitch strike from Van Valkenburg.
He's also scored a run, that being back in the 6th.
The 0-1. Spiked in the dirt. Carroll's there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stallion staff being pressed here in the 8th. 3 straight innings for them where they've let up a run. Couldn't ask for a better ball game competitive-wise here at Cantine on July 4th. A sky-high pop in foul territory. Passo is there, a crucial second out here in the top of the 8th.
Nice pitch from Van Valkenburg. Used the fastball. Jammed Colella in the batter's box. A lazy pop-up to the first baseman, Passo, and an easy out at that.
Connor Jones steps in. 2 walks in his last 2 plate appearances. Struck out in the first. trying to bring home the go-ahead run. Ramsdale not calling that one at the top of the zone. He's had a very tight strike zone here tonight, and it has really not favored either side. Very hitter-friendly. Ramsdale not calling that one. Back-to-back pitches that the Stallions dugout has gotten loud about, but Ramsdale not giving the strike sign. 2-0 ends up hitting Jones.
Valley Country Liquors get their money's worth tonight, fans. That'll bring to the plate first baseman, Sean Sousa.
Sean Sousa to the dish now. Runners are at first and second with 2 outs, and we're going to see head coach Colin Martin out of the dugout here, and he's making a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen with 2 down here in the top of the 8th. A short leash for Van Valkenburg. He's out of this ballgame. Runners are at first and second with 2 down, tied at 5. It's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen here for the Stallions. In the top half of the 8th, head coach Colin Martin not messing around here tonight on July 4th. Matt Murtaugh is on to get out of the jam.
And this is a guy making his 4th appearance here tonight who's just pitched 2 days ago in the 9-5 win against Glens Falls, where he got pitched in the 7th and 8th, 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run to go with 2 strikeouts. Colin Martin going with the right guy here with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs.
Van Valkenburg's line is still open, but as of right now, 2/3 of an inning pitch, 2 hits, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Sam Sosa at the plate for the Blue Sox with runners at first and second. Murtaugh pitched 2 days ago for the Stallions against Glens Falls. Murtaugh in that game, 2 innings, just 1 earned run on 3 strikeouts. He has been a great high-leverage arm for the Stallions, and it makes sense why they go to him here in this spot. One back Sousa up. 2 balls and no strikes. This is a crucial, pivotal at-bat here in the top half of the 8th. (2-0) misses down low, and now Murtaugh is a pitch away from loading the bases.
And Wolkenberg allowed 3 of the 5 hitters he faced to reach base, but back-to-back doubles with 1 out. Smith and Ulysses plated a run.
(3-0) in there for strike 1. Interesting count now against Sam Sousa. He had an RBI single in the 6th. That inning was ended on Connor Jones trying to get over to third, but the Blue Sox still plated a run on that play. Murtaugh deals. Called strike at the top of the zone, and the count goes full. And the runners will be released here.
And that's a pitch, Dan, that really hasn't been called a strike at all here today. Murtaugh getting a great bonus from home plate umpire Jeff Ramsdale.
It's a full count with 2 down. Runners are at first and second. Murtaugh looking to get out of the jam. The pitch misses upstairs, and the bases are loaded. Murtaugh walks the first batter he sees, and now Duncan Cullinan comes to the plate with the bases loaded. And Cullinan, in this game, 3 walks. He is not a guy who has shown so far here tonight will swing at anything outside of the zone. The Blue Sox have the go-ahead run at third base. First pitch from Murtaugh is a strike.
And Cullinan comes into this one only hitting 200, 5 hits and 25 at-bats. That line is still true because, like you said, he walked all 3 times here tonight.
Oh, 1 misses at the top of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 down. Utica has 1 more hit on the evening than Saugerties. 8-7 leading in that category. Stallions with the lone error on the evening. 1-1. Big cut and a miss for strike 2. And now Murtaugh is just 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam. Stallions will have 3, 4, 5 coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th.
And this is a guy who loves to go to that power fastball. 2 strikeout hitters. He has 8 strikeouts through 9 2/3. He just threw it there in a 1-1 count. I would expect the 4-seamer from Murtaugh, and now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Most pivotal pitch here tonight for a Stallions pitcher.
Bases juiced, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down to Duncan Cullinan, who's walked all 3 times tonight. A 1-2 offering. Grounded over to Comiskey at third. That ball is foul, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Murtaugh nearly out of the jam right there, but he's going to need at least 1 more pitch. Ulysses at third, Jones at second, Sousa at first, and that pitch misses upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and interestingly enough, that was called for a strike in the last at-bat to Sousa. 2-2, 2 outs, bases loaded, tie ball game here on July 4th. Murtaugh deals. Strike 3, got him looking. A massive K for Matt Murtaugh. Utica leaves the bases loaded here in the top half of the 8th. They tie the game at 5 here on July 4th. Bottom half of the 8th, the Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen for the Utica Blue Sox. 4th straight inning where they've changed the pitcher, and this time it's Ryder Stowasser.
This is his 6th appearance here in the PGCBL as a Utica Blue Sox. To this point, 9 2/3 innings pitched, 2.79 ERA. He's given up 3 earned runs over the 9 2/3 this season as a Blue Sox.
Matthew Callahan leaves the game. An inning pitched, no hits, no runs. Issued 3 walks, which loaded the bases, but that was with 2 outs, and Cameron Carroll grounded out to short. It's a tie ball game here in the bottom of the 8th, which is really setting up to be a classic finish here at Cantine Field in either direction. Jamie Z will start things in the bottom of the 8th. And for Jamie Z, an RBI single in the 6th. They want this guy at the plate right now. Heart of the order coming up. 3, 4, 5 here in the bottom of the 8th. And Z crushes the first pitch he sees. Jones going back on the track. It's over his head. 2-hopper off the wall. Z's at second. He's going to third. It's a sliding triple to lead off things here in the bottom of the 8th for Jamie Z.
The Notre Dame rising freshman is here to stay. Comes into that at-bat, leading the PGCBL in homers. That's now his 10th extra base hit already this season. He got a loud triple right there going off the wall.
That was the first pitch that Stowasser threw in this inning. And Z rocked it any other part of the ballpark, and that ball would have been gone. Hit it to the deepest area out there in center field. Just the guy now the Stallions want up in this scenario. They just need a ball to the outfield to take the lead. Utica will bring the infield in with Justin Ford at the plate, who has a couple of RBIs so far today. Is 2 for 3. Make that 3 RBIs. Shoots it into left field. Z's in to score at 6-5 Stallions.
Justin Ford picks up RBI number 26 this season as a Stallion, through it, and this being his 20th game here in Saugerties. Leads the PGCBL in that category, and that might have been the biggest hit this season for a Stallions hitter.
And he just shot it right over the head of Colella at shortstop. Nothing that the Utica defense could do, especially given the fact that they were in. Dylan Passo at the plate, and that's the first time now that Stowasser has gotten past the first pitch in his outing. Passo had an RBI double down the right field line last time, pops one up over to the left side in foul territory, and that one stays foul. So it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And now the Stallions are 3 outs away on defense from holding on to a 6-5 victory on July 4th, with fireworks coming up after that.
They're still going to need 3 outs in the 9th, like you mentioned, Nick, and Utica has scored a run in every inning since the 6th, so not an easy task. Stallions still searching for more here, though, in the bottom of the 8th. Passo takes outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. And already some of the fireworks getting started in the background. We still got a little bit of time before that. Passo looking to light up a firework, loops one into left field, sliding catch by Ulysses. And there's 1 down here in the 8th. But that was still good contact right there from Passo and what you want to see. Travis Hobbins-Steve get at the plate. He's had an 0 for 3 outing here tonight, which is uncharacteristic for him after he had 2 home runs against the Amsterdam Mohawks on July 1st. Takes a first pitch strike. A sky-high pop into center field. Jones makes the play. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Haben Siefkin nearly got that ball. Just popped it up way high in the sky. And with 2 down, John Freitag steps in. Freitag came into this game for George Baker. Baker had the first 2 plate appearances in the DH role, and then Freitag worked a walk in the 7th. First pitch high and away. Seems like Matt Murtaugh will be the one tasked with getting the save in the 9th. Stallions do not have an arm going in the bullpen. A 1-0 pitch. Misses on the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. Here to John Freitag.
Freitag pinch hit for Baker. Back in the 7th, who was 0 for 2 with a strikeout, but Freitag reached on base because of a walk last inning.
A big cut and a miss from Freitag for strike 1. Stallions have come from behind in this ball game. Trailed 2-1 after the first. No scoring for either side between the 2nd and the 5th. And then Saugerties with a 4-run bottom of the 6th. Have the pivotal run here to make it a 6-5 ball game, and Freitag is in a 2-2 count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Forward at first, the pitch, line to the left side and through for a base hit. Freitag with just a simple base knock through the hole, and the Stallions have runners at first and second for Casey Comiskey.
Great piece of hitting from Freitag. Not trying to do too much. Fastball on the outside corner, goes with the pitch and a 2-strike count. John Freitag now passes the baton over to Casey Comiskey, the birthday man here on July 4th.
I don't know what Casey Comiskey's age is, but maybe he can pull off some, I don't know about you, I'm feeling 22 Taylor Swift and light up a firework. Some Katy Perry, mashing all the American icons together here on July 4th. One ball, no strikes. Runners are at first and second with 2 down. Comiskey swinging for the fences. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stowasser set at the belt. Now deals. Comiskey gets a piece. Down 1-2. 3 flyouts for him tonight. Last inning, a pop out in foul territory to the first baseman, Sousa. For the Blue Sox, 9-10-1 due up in the top of the 9th. 1-2 offering. Comiskey pokes it into right field. Cowdery there to make the play. Utica down to their final 3 outs of the ball game. Matt Murtaugh on for the save here on July 4th. Stay with us.
6-5.
It's the top of the ninth here in Saugerties, and you couldn't paint a more storybook finish. A Friday night on July 4th, and what is one of the most passionate independent state towns in America. Stallions will try and close it out, up by a run. Matt Murtaugh is back on, and he's searching for the 4-out save.
He came in relief of Jace Van Valkenburg, who threw just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned, but Murtaugh got the big strikeout to end the 8th of Duncan Cullinane, looking for 3 more outs to send the Stallions fans home happy on America's 249th birthday.
And they're not going anywhere. We got post-game fireworks after the game, but certainly would be a cherry on top of what's already been a great July 4th. Parker Barraza, the catcher, will step in as the first batter of this 9th inning. He was hit by the pitch, came around to score as Utica's lone run in the 7th. The Blue Sox have put up a run in every inning since the 6th. And Murtaugh deals a first pitch strike. Stallions getting a pivotal run in the bottom of the 8th, a go-ahead after Jamie Z tripled and Justin Ford brought him home on an RBI single. The 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stallions won on July 4th, 9-2 last year over the Glens Falls Dragons. And over their last 4 July 4ths, a 2-2 record here at home. 2-1 count to Barraza. Murtaugh deals. Misses outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Utica now just a pitch away from getting the tying run on base here in the top of the 9th. The Blue Sox have not got away by any stretch of the mean. Scored 2 runs in the first and 3 over the last 3 innings, amounting to 5 runs on 8 hits. 3-1. Might have been a strike, but Carroll can't grab it. And it's a 5-pitch walk to start things here in the top of the 9th for Parker Barraza.
Not the ideal start for Murtaugh out on the mound, but still is pitching to the number 10 hitter, Waldy Rodriguez. So he's got to go after him right here with the top of the order looming on deck.
Pinch runner for the Blue Sox here in the top of the 9th. They want speed on the base paths and trying to do just that.
Now batting the Waldy Rodriguez.
Waldy Rodriguez, the extra hitter at the plate. And we wish we could get you a name on whoever number 5 is on first base, but he is not in any of the PGCBL systems. So once we get that information, we will relay it to you. Rodriguez looking to lay down the bunt and move the runner 90 feet. He goes over to second. A dart by Carroll, and he's rung up at second. Cam Carroll with a beautiful throw down to second, and there's 1 down here in the 9th.
Second caught stealing now for Carroll this game. The other came back in the 5th when he nailed down Waldy Rodriguez, but Cam Carroll coming up clutch here in the 9th, helping out his pitcher, Matt Murtaugh.
Captain America delivering here in Saugerties. A 1-0 pitch. Misses. Jeff Ramsdale not giving that one on the outside part of the plate. 2-0. That pitch finds the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Utica momentum hurt here in the top of the 9th. They had their leadoff runner on first. He's nabbed at second after the throw down from Carroll. The 2-1 poked into center field for a 1-out base hit. But Nick, you really go back to being grateful now for that throw down from Carroll. Could very well be runners at the corners with nobody out right now.
Just an absolute sniped down to second base from Carroll. Like you said, Dan, this inning could look very different for the Stallions, but Carroll got them a very important first out in the 9th.
Top of the order for the Blue Sox. Jager Naylor at the plate.
Come on, Matt, right here.
Runner at first with one down. Murtaugh deals a first pitch strike. What'd you think about trying to put the steal on again here?
I don't know. Carroll's shown pretty great ability to nab down runners at second base this game. I don't think you take the chance with the top of the order up.
Rodriguez did get nailed in the 5th. 0-1. Fly ball into right field. Hobbin-Siefken is under it, and the Stallions are 1 out away from closing things down here on July 4th.
And we got 2.
Vincent Cowdery will be the man at the dish for Utica as he tries to extend this ball game. Utica down to their final out. Saugerties looking for back-to-back wins here on July 4th in what has been a hard-fought battle against the Blue Sox. First pitch is lined into center field. Fitzsimmons with the play! Oh! What a diving play out there in center field. Griffin Crane, the new addition, making that play in center field. What a play to end off this ball game. Stallions win it 6-5.
Just the epitome of what this game was, a back-and-forth game. You didn't really know who had the edge. Cowdery put a good swing on it, but Griffin Crane welcomed the Saugerties on the 4th of July. Game-saving diving play out in center field.
Stallions get a victory, and there's more fireworks coming here at Cantine Field. That's back-to-back wins for the Ponies. They'll be in action tomorrow night against the Oneonta Outlaws, and we will have that game for you in Oneonta. That's set to be a 7 o'clock start, and we'll have that one for you here on the Stallions YouTube network. But for now, we have to send it down to our sideline reporter, Hannah Tampassis, who is with our player of the game, Justin Ford.
I'm Hannah Tampassis, and I'm here with Justin Ford again for another interview, but this time he's player of the game. Now, how are you feeling being named player of the game on the 4th of July?
Yeah, it feels great. We played a great team game all the way through. Come out with a really exciting win on the 4th of July in front of all these people. It's really, really exciting.
Now, I asked you earlier about the expectations for this game. Did your team lead up to it, and did you make any adjustments throughout the game?
Yeah, like I said, I think throughout the day we were hitting the ball hard, kind of. Stuff started to kind of fall for us, and pitchers locked it down. And like I said, just a really, really good team win.
Now, you lead the PGCBL in RBIs with 26. Congratulations, by the way. What's been working for you?
Just kind of trying to hit pitches early in the count. I mean, obviously hitting with guys on base. The guys are getting on base in front of me. And just trying to do my job when the opportunity is given. So.
All right, now final question. Are you ready for these fireworks?
I am. I'm really, really excited, and I'm sure the kids are too. So let's do it.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Hannah. Always great to catch up with player of the game. Justin Ford, a 3-for-4 night for him. 3 RBIs with a double. The Stallions win it here at Cantine Field on July 4th. A 6-5 final. A couple thank yous to hand out here on the broadcast to our producer, Bella Holleran, our 2 sideline reporters, Henry Hipstrin and Hannah Tampassis, my partner, Nick Zuppi. Dan Shell wishing you all a very happy July 4th, and we'll see you tomorrow night in Utica.